Hey guys, hope you are well. So, welcome to the Anime Fictions 2.0. This is the story about what if Naruto has wood and lava release. Part 1. If you love this whatif, do subscribe for more awesome whatif. Share with your friends and enjoy them. Check out the other videos I have created. Comment down your opinion. Share with your friends. So, without wasting any time, let's jump into the first part. Sensei? 8-year-old Uchiha Sasuke stood, his arms crossed, watching with cold eyes as Akimichi Chuji and Nara Shikamaru, both his age, stood opposite each other in front of their teacher, Yumino Irika, behind the Ninja Academy. A traditional shinobi spar was taking place. What? Irika asked Chuji, who looked a bit meek. I don't really want to beat up my friend. That's not what we're doing, this is a traditional shinobi spar, Irika said, smiling. Even the Hokage and his friends trained like this to help them grow strong. Shikamaru didn't seem to listen, however. Instead, he just turned away and walked off. Sensei, I'm fine with losing by ring out, he announced, which made Chuji smile. Call the next pair. Irika sighed, exasperated, then gestured for Shikamaru to come back and said fine. Shikamaru, Chuji, the symbol of harmony. Next. As Chuji and Shikamaru hooked their middle and index fingers with each other, Irika looked over the clipboard in his hands, trying to decide on the next pair. Next is Uzumaki Naruto. And Uchiha Sasuke. You're up! As Sasuke walked into the ring that had been drawn on the ground, the girls in his class squealed with joy. Sasuke hated when they did that. He thought that ignoring them would make them stop, but they seemed to love his loner personality. Ignoring them once more, he looked to the kid who walked into the ring with him. The boy had spiky, blonde hair, intense blue eyes, and 3 strange, whisker-like markings on each cheek. Sasuke could see that he shouldn't relax when it came to this boy, as his expression was very rebellious, and his already bruised knuckles, coupled with the faded bruise on his cheek and the butterfly bandage over the cut above his left eyebrow, told him that this kid was a fighter. Let's do this, the other boy, Naruto, said with a grin that screamed defiance and confidence. Naruto! Irika barked, placing his hand in a half-ram seal. Before the spar, you have to make the symbol of combat. It's the proper protocol. I couldn't give a crap, Naruto exclaimed brashly and very loudly. Just start the fight, yeah? So stupid, Sasuke muttered. Fine, I'll take you down in one. Stop, the both of you, Irika ordered. Sheesh. Listen, these shinobi spars are a tradition that's been passed down for generations. I realize there's a lot of etiquette, but it's important, and here at the academy, we're teaching you the basics. First, you always face your opponent and point your fingers like this. This is the symbol of combat. It represents on half of a seal that might be used to activate a ninjutsu technique, and means I've come to face you in battle. When the spar is over, both participants make the symbol of combat and lock their fingers together, to make the symbol of harmony and acknowledge that they are still comrades. This is all part of the proper etiquette for a shinobi spar, and Irika stopped and twitched when he saw Naruto looking away, cleaning out his ear. Are you listening, Naruto? This is the second time I've told you this. Yeah. Say yes, and say it once, you little brat. Naruto scoffed, but then smirked and formed the symbol of combat, staring into Sasuke's eyes, the Uchiha forming the same symbol. Begin! Irika yelled out, and the 2 kids charged at each other. Sasuke was right when he had assumed that Naruto could fight. He was used to being strong and all, so when Naruto seemed to anticipate every strike and counter with the same efficiency as Sasuke himself, the Uchiha was understandably shocked. The 2 traded blows, and Sasuke, though entirely focused on the fight, noticed in the corner of his eye how the other students were staring in open shock. None of them had apparently been expecting Naruto to be this good. Sasuke grunted when he felt a punch connect with his stomach, hard. And when he hunched over, gritting his teeth, his mind's eye flashed back to that night, when he in a rage fueled by grief had charged at Itachi, who had delivered a similar punch to his stomach. Stumbling back, Sasuke glared at Naruto, and before his eyes the blonde's features changed. Instead of the spiky-haired, cocky blonde, there stood the source of his hatred, Uchiha Itachi. Sasuke felt that familiar rage fill him, and he charged at his brother with renewed vigor, taking him completely by surprise with his increased speed. He laid into him with punches, then managed to knock him to the ground, jumping on him and straddling him. His eyes wide with rage, Sasuke raised his fist, ready to pound Itachi's head to mush. Then, he heard the cheering of the girls in his class, and he heard Irika's call of Sasuke wins, which brought him back to the present. He saw Itachi's mouth curve up into a smirk. Ho, I've seen eyes like that before, he said, and when he spoke, Sasuke heard Naruto's voice, and Itachi slowly warped back into Naruto, whose smirk faded to be replaced by a curious look. But for once, it's not directed at me. Who are you looking at? Sasuke felt himself twitch. He hesitated, then slowly got off Naruto as Iruka said, Now, both of you make the symbol of harmony, and we'll move on. Naruto got to his feet and rubbed the bruise that had resurfaced on his cheek after Sasuke punched him rather hard on it. He put his hand in the symbol of combat, then held it out to Sasuke, giving him a calculating look. Sasuke grunted and did the same, hooking his fingers with Naruto's. They let go immediately, and Sasuke turned away, gritting his teeth. Later found Sasuke sitting on the Yandame's head on the Hokage monument. He had never been up there before, but Iruka, who had noticed the look in Sasuke's eyes, had told him that it was a great place to just sit down and think. He said that he had gotten the idea from another student. When asked who, the teacher had just shrugged and walked away. Sasuke had to admit, he could see so much from up there. He felt so small, as though his problems were just a single drop in a vast ocean. Came a grumpy voice from behind Sasuke, interrupting his train of thought. Sasuke looked over his shoulder to see that kid from the academy, Naruto, standing there, his hands in the pockets of his beige cargo shorts. He hadn't changed shirts, so his white t-shirt still had blood spatter on it. Surprisingly, however, his busted lip had already healed, and the bruise on his cheek had almost completely faded. Naruto pointed at the stone where Sasuke sat. You're in my seat. Don't see your name on it, loser, Sasuke snapped back, glaring at Naruto, whose face scrunched up in anger. Want me to kick you off, you little shit? I'm as tall as you, Sasuke barked. Then, he scoffed and turned to look over the village again. What are you doing here? I always come here, Naruto muttered as he walked up to Sasuke and sat down next to him. The people in this village treat me like crap, so I come up here and look over the whole village, and I dunno, I feel something. Something? Sasuke asked, raising an eyebrow. An incredible need to protect this place, Naruto explained with a shrug. I'm gonna be a great ninja and continue the old man's work. Old man? The Hokage Jiji. I'm gonna take over for him as Hokage one day. Then everyone in the village will acknowledge my existence. Sasuke scoffed in amusement. What a foolish dream. Suddenly, Sasuke found his collar grabbed by Naruto, who pulled him closer and glared into his eyes with an intensity that Sasuke had never seen before. There was a fire in Naruto's eyes that burned brightly enough to shock Sasuke into speechlessness. This kid had 100% confidence that his dream would come true. Say that again, Naruto growled out angrily. Get off. Sasuke grunted, slapping Naruto's hands off his collar. He righted it again and lowered his head, so that half his face was covered by the high uchiha trademark collar, gazing darkly out over the village. I said it was a foolish dream. Empty words aren't going to make them reality. All dreams start out as words. They're the foundation you can build them on, Naruto said insistently. Without dreams, we will fall into stagnation and our lives will become inconsequential. Sasuke blinked at that and slowly turned to look at the important-looking Naruto in confusion. Stagnation? Inconsequential? He asked curiously. What's that mean? Dunno, Naruto said with a shrug. But that's what Jiji told me when I told him about my dream, and if the Hokage says it, it must be important. Ho, indeed, Naruto-kun. Both Naruto and Sasuke jumped in surprise and turned their heads to see none other than the elderly Sandaime Hokage standing behind them, smiling brightly. Ah, Jiji! Naruto exclaimed as he shot to his feet, pointing accusingly at Sasuke. This punk said my dream is dumb. TCH. Sasuke pouted and looked away. Don't be too hard on Sasuke-kun, the Sandaime said kindly, walking up and kneeling behind Sasuke, putting a hand on his shoulder. Sasuke's life has been rough recently, so it is understandable that he is skeptical. But it's amazing that you two found each other up here. Ha! Naruto blinked, tilting his head to the side. What are you on about, Jiji? You both have darkness in your lives, a darkness no one could ever understand, the Sandaime said, which made Sasuke's eyes widen as he turned his head to look at Naruto in shock. This kid had a rough life. I think that, of all the people in this village, you two are probably the ones who can understand and help each other the best. Sasuke looked skeptically at Naruto, who gave him an identical look. That pampered prince? Naruto asked at the exact same time as Sasuke said, that troublemaking idiot? The Sandaime just chuckled as he patted both boys on the head and said, Iruka told me that you two sparred today, the strongest in the class. If you were that energetic during your spar, you should have gotten a feel for each other's reasons for fighting. Rising again, the Sandaime smiled brightly at them. I believe, Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun, that if you two talk, you will become great friends. It's not good to keep everything bottled up inside. With that, the Sandaime disappeared in a puff of smoke. Naruto looked a bit confused for a moment, then shrugged and plopped down next to Sasuke again, humming. What he mean? Had it rough? The blonde mumbled, and Sasuke's eyes darkened as he lowered his head again, hiding behind his collar. I don't want to talk about it. Fine, Naruto said with a shrug. Not like I want to talk to a punk like you anyway. I just came here to enjoy the view. Sasuke scoffed, keeping his gaze on the village. The two sat in silence for a while, and Sasuke thought back to the spar he had had with Naruto earlier that day. The Sandaime said that they should be able to understand each other, and Sasuke could remember that Itachi had said something similar once, that when two warriors clash, their minds connect, and their true feelings are displayed to each other. Slowly, Sasuke turned his head to look at Naruto, who kept his defiant look on his face as he looked over the village. You have determination, Sasuke spoke up suddenly, which made Naruto look at him. I got that from our spar. You're constantly trying to prove yourself, and the determination is just an outlet for all the hate you hold inside. Hatred for what? Why should I answer? You didn't. Sasuke gave another scoff and looked away from Naruto again. He contemplated for a moment, then said, I am from the Uchiha clan. My brother was the strongest of us all. He was my hero. For as long as I can remember, I have always wanted to be like him. Then, about a month ago. Sasuke closed his eyes and took a deep breath, the events flashing before his eyes. He contemplated avoiding telling Naruto, but felt that it might be best if he talked about it. About a month ago, my brother killed my entire clan, before fleeing the village. Naruto blinked in surprise at that. Wow. That sucks, I guess. What about you? Sasuke asked, hoping to find something else to focus on. What about me? Have you lost anyone? The Hokage said we'd understand each other, so. I don't think he meant it like that, Naruto said with a shrug. I've never lost a family member. Oh, Sasuke thought, and couldn't help but envy Naruto for how lucky he. Then again, I've never had any family to begin with. Huh? Sasuke blinked in surprise. Maybe Naruto wasn't so lucky after all? Yeah, I'm an orphan. No idea who my parents are. I think they died on the day I was born, during the Kyuubi attack, or something. Oh, Sasuke said slowly. Is that why you have such a suppressed hatred? Nope, I don't hate the Kyuubi, Naruto said, shaking his head. I don't really hate anything. That's total crap, Sasuke muttered, giving Naruto a skeptical look. The Hokage said that we'd be able to understand each other, since we've sparred, and I felt a lot of hatred coming from you. Naruto scoffed, crossing his arms and turning away while muttering, What do you know? I know a look of hatred. I see it every time I look in the mirror. So tell me. Naruto kept his defiant look for a few moments, but then he seemed to deflate as he turned his head to look over the village. The villagers, I guess. He muttered. They think I'm blind and deaf, but I see and hear everything. Most of these people. They glare at me for no reason, and they whisper things about me, even though they don't know me. They whisper such hurtful things. Why would they do that? I mean, you're a troublemaking fool, but that's. Shut up! Naruto snapped. I only started causing trouble because they whispered a bunch of crap. Sasuke's eyes widened at that. Then. Why are they whispering? Dunno, Naruto said with a shrug. They've been doing it for as long as I can remember. When I ask the old man, he gets all dodgy and changes the subject. So. You have no idea what it's like to lose family. And I have no idea what it's like to not have family in the first place, or be whispered about by the villagers. Sasuke muttered, furrowing his brow. How, exactly, are we meant to understand each other? Well, I don't think Gigi meant that we'd understand the thing itself, but the pain it caused. The thingy? The Gigi has a word for it, but I can't prawn. I can't say it. You should work on that. Give me a break, alright? I never had someone to teach me properly. Sasuke scoffed in amusement as he looked over the village again, a small smirk on his face. You're pretty useless, aren't you? Shut up. I'll kick you down from here. As Sasuke walked into the academy the following day, he couldn't help but feel happy? Yes, it was probably happiness that he felt. He and Naruto had talked a lot the previous evening. They had found that the Sandaime was right. Though their situations were vastly different, they had connected thanks to the fact that the pain they felt was very similar, despite being so radically different. Also, Sasuke felt quite proud of himself for having spent most of the night studying a dictionary so that he could confuse Naruto with big words the following day. Sasuke looked around the classroom, finding two fangirls sitting on either side of the seat he had taken the previous day. They were watching him expectantly, and Sasuke felt very reluctant to go there, so he desperately searched for another spot to sit in. He found it, and as luck would have it, the seat was next to Naruto, who was resting his head on his arms, snoozing peacefully. "Yo," Sasuke said as he came up to Naruto and sat down next to him. Naruto opened a single eye and looked at him. "Yo," he muttered back, yawning. "You look tired." "I was up late last night," Sasuke said, smirking. He didn't need to tell him why he'd been up. He'd just settled for using the fruits of his labor. "Yeah, same here," Naruto said with a nod. "I'm very haggard. I spent most of last night reading a dictionary. It was exhilarating and refreshing at the same time as it was vexatious." Sasuke twitched. He narrowed his eyes and looked away, realizing that he had no idea what that last word meant. "I also studied a dictionary, but I never got that far into it." "Yeah, those words were probably the only words I bothered to actually memorize properly," Naruto said, sighing tiredly. "It's way too much of a hassle to bother with big words." "HN. Alright, settle down," came Irika's voice as the Chunin teacher entered the classroom. As usual, this had no effect whatsoever on the class, who kept chattering with each other. Irika twitched once, took a deep breath, and yelled out, "Shut the hell up." This, as usual, got their attention, and classes got started. After the class was let out for the day, Naruto and Sasuke didn't go to their respective homes. Instead, they headed to the library, and Sasuke couldn't help but notice the look Naruto got from the librarian, who had looked on the verge of kicking him out before she saw Sasuke accompanying him. He didn't voice this, however, as Naruto was in a good mood, since he had finally gotten a friend. Well, Sasuke hadn't officially said that they were friends, and though he was loath to admit it, he saw Naruto as one. He didn't really know why. They had just clicked somehow. So now, they were looking through scroll after scroll, researching ninja and chakra as much as possible. Naruto had wanted to spend the day at Ichiraku Ramen, but Sasuke had convinced him to go to the library. After all, he couldn't grow strong enough to become Hokage and get everyone to acknowledge him by spending his days at the ramen stand. Aya, Sensor Ninja, Medic Ninja, Offensive Ninja, Defensive Ninja, Genjutsu Specialist, Ninjutsu Specialist, Taijutsu Specialist. Naruto muttered, looking through his 13th scroll that day. "There's so much to choose from. How do you know which one fits you?" "I'll be an offensive type, I think," Sasuke said, humming. "Yeah, definitely. I'll also specialize in all three, ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu." "Ha! You don't seem the genjutsu type," Naruto said, tilting his head to the side. "Well, not right now, but when I get my Sharingan, it'll come naturally." Naruto stared at Sasuke for a long time. Gone. I'll tell you later." Shrugging, Naruto looked back down at the scroll, furrowing his brow in thought, and picked up another one, clicking his tongue and muttering, "I think I'd make a good censor. Also, I'll probably be a mix of offensive and defensive, specializing in ninjutsu and taijutsu." "It'd be good to have a censor on the team," Sasuke said, nodding slowly. "On the team? Well, we're going to be on the same team, aren't we? You're probably the only one in the academy I can stand. And hopefully, that Hyuga girl will end up with us too, as she's probably the only girl who doesn't follow me around like a lost puppy." "I didn't know we get to pick our teammates." "We don't. But we can manipulate things so that we do." Naruto blinked slowly. Then, he ordered, "Explain." "From what I can tell, they pair the highest scoring boy and girl with the lowest scoring boy. Therefore, I will become Rookie of the Year, as is expected of me, but you get barely passing grades, and become dead last. That way, we'll end up on the same team, even if you're just below me in power." "You sound confident in your own power." "I'm an Uchiha, so I have a right to be," was the only explanation Sasuke gave, which made Naruto snort. Then, Naruto burst out laughing, and Sasuke was incredibly surprised to find that he was joining in the laughter. "Naruto!" Sasuke barked in an uncharacteristically loud voice. Around his friend, dare he say best friend, Sasuke had always been different. He was a lot happier, he supposed one could call it. It had now been 6 months since they met, and Sasuke had found something more to live for. When his clan was killed, he had thought that everyone he cared about had disappeared. All he had seen in front of him was Itachi, and his desire to kill the man. Now, however, He had realized that although the Uchiha clan would always be very dear to him, and he would always miss them, he could get new people who were precious to him. Granted, he had only found one person who he could call precious, but still. Also, his clan could be revived. That responsibility rested on Sasuke's shoulders now, if he wanted to bring the clan back to greatness. Therefore, he couldn't just focus all his attention on getting strong enough to kill Itachi. After all, if he failed, then the Uchiha clan would be forever gone from Konoha. Naruto. Sasuke came to a sudden halt when he reached their clearing in Training Area 3, where he and Naruto had been given permission to train. He found Naruto sitting in the very center, looking around with a bright smile on his face. Why was he smiling? Because trees had sprouted from the ground around him, trees that Sasuke was 100% sure hadn't been there before. How? Oh, hey Sasuke, Naruto said, getting to his feet and jogging over to Sasuke. Isn't this cool? I can create trees. How did you do that? What isn't an element? Sasuke said, eyes still wide in shock. Their senses had sharpened enough that they weren't surprised when the Sandaime appeared in the clearing. They heard him the second his sandal touched the dirt. I would also like to know that, Naruto-kun, the Sandaime spoke up, staring at Naruto curiously. Well, I just sat there, meditating, and suddenly I started molding chakra, but it felt different, somehow, like my chakra was split in two. So, I tried putting it together again and… Poof, Naruto finished lamely, gesturing for the trees around them. Naruto-kun, did you know that the wood release is a bloodline limit? The Sandaime said seriously, making both Naruto and Sasuke go wide-eyed. Whoa! Naruto exclaimed, a grin appearing on his face as he turned to Sasuke. Did you hear that, Sasuke? I have a bloodline too. Indeed you do, Naruto-kun. Have any of you heard of the wood release before? I've heard it mentioned by my father once, I think, Sasuke said, scratching his head. Other than that, no. Nope. The wood release was the special bloodline ability of the Shodai Hokage, boys, the Sandaime said, and it didn't take more than a second for both Naruto and Sasuke to realize what he was saying. Holy mother-hubbing crap! Naruto exclaimed, eloquently putting into words what both boys felt. I'm related to the Shodai Hokage? And in turn the Nidaime, Naruto-kun, the Sandaime said, nodding. How, I do not know. I didn't think either of your parents were related to them. The Nidaime never had any children, and the last known descendant of the Shodai is… The Sandaime's eyes widened. No. It couldn't be. Naruto blinked, then looked at Sasuke, who shrugged. Neither of them needed to speak in order to know that the other had no clue what the Sandaime was talking about. The old Hokage seemed to realize this, as he smiled at them. The last known descendant of the Shodai Hokage was the son of Senju Tsunade. However, she was forced to give him up for adoption, against the wishes of the village, of course, as she didn't think she could be trusted to raise a child. I believe that fate somehow intervened, and the child remained in the village despite everything. A smirk slowly spread on the Sandaime's face. Naruto-kun, I believe you now deserve to find out the truth about your parents, he said, making Naruto's eyes widen, along with Sasuke's, as Naruto had told him that the Sandaime had often said that it would be too dangerous for the blonde to know. Why don't we talk somewhere more private? Can Sasuke come? Naruto asked hopefully. 'Cause you know I'll tell him anyway. The Sandaime looked at Sasuke, who thought for a moment that the old man doubted he could be trusted. Those thoughts were unfounded, however, as the Sandaime smiled not even half a second later. Of course, good friends should never have to hide things from each other, after all. Secrets create a rift between them that can almost never be mended. So, Sasuke-kun, would you like to come along as well? Yes, Hokage-sama, Sasuke said eagerly, nodding. If Naruto was related to the Shodai Hokage, he wanted to know about it. The Sandaime reached out and placed a hand on their shoulders, and then all three disappeared in a blur. They reappeared inside the Hokage's mansion, in the Sandaime's office, to be exact. The walls were lined with scrolls, showing that was all the Sandaime did in this office, work on all manner of ninjutsu. Sit down, the Sandaime said, gesturing for 4 cushions on the floor. He sat down on one of them with the usual old person groan, and Naruto and Sasuke sat down as well, watching him eagerly. The Sandaime's gentle, grandfatherly look was replaced by a stern and serious one. Now, Naruto-kun, I want you to remember that this is very sensitive information, and that your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and even your great-great-grandparents had enemies that would love to kill you simply out of spite. Therefore, I would like you two to keep this information to yourselves, until I deem you strong enough to protect yourself. Is that clear? Yes, Gigi. Naruto said, and Sasuke nodded in agreement. Very well. Your mother, Naruto-kun, was Uzumaki Kushina, a member of the great Uzumaki clan of Yuzushiogakure no Sato, a now destroyed village situated on an island to the east of Fire Country. This clan was known for their great proficiency with sealing techniques, and their longevity. She was an amazingly strong woman, and very hot-tempered. The Sandaime paused for a moment, and then gave a small chuckle. In her youth, she was teased in the ninja academy because of her round face and red hair. The children took to calling her Tomato. Naruto gave an audible snort, and Sasuke had to suppress a smirk, knowing that was the kind of name Naruto would have come up with for someone like that. The Sandaime hummed and put a hand on his chin, rubbing it thoughtfully. Of course, that all changed when she started pummeling those who teased her, prompting the children to call her the red hot-blooded habanero. Naruto tensed, and Sasuke knew his friend well enough to know that Naruto had suddenly decided not to go name-calling anymore, unless the name-calling actually deserved it. Well, what about my dad? Naruto asked, shaking off the horrible thought of being pummeled by an angry redhead. Was he a super cool ninja, or something? Oh, he was super cool, alright, the Sandaime said with a nod. Your father. Your father is the main reason why your true heritage was kept hidden from you. In the last great shinobi war, he made a great enemy out of Iwa. He was the man who would one day rise to become the Yondaime Hokage of Konoha, Namikaze Minato. Sasuke felt his jaw muscles slacken, and his jaw dropped in shock. Glancing to his right, he saw that Naruto had the same reaction, staring at the Sandaime in open shock. My old man was. That's right, Naruto-kun, your father was the Yondaime Hokage, who I now suspect to have been adopted. I believe he may have actually been Tsunade's biological son. The reason why I haven't told you, or anyone else, about this, is that you are, I'm sorry for saying this, a loudmouth, Naruto-kun. Sasuke couldn't suppress a smirk at seeing Naruto twitch in indignation at hearing that. Naruto-kun, if I had told you, then you would have screamed it out to whoever would listen at every chance you had. This would have been brought to Iwa's attention, and they may have tried to kidnap you. TCH. Naruto crossed his arms and pouted. I suppose. However, I didn't want to keep it from you any longer. Now you are going to need training. There is a man here in Konoha who is quite proficient at using Mokutan ninjutsu. And no, Naruto-kun, he is not a senju, the Sandaime added at seeing Naruto's face brightening. He was experimented on at a young age, and had Shodai-sama's genes implanted in him by a criminal of this village. He is currently serving in the Anbu forces, but I'm going to recall him to be your instructor when it comes to Mokutan ninjutsu. Naruto grinned widely at that. Thanks a lot, Gigi, he exclaimed, then turned to Sasuke. Let's both become super powerful, yeah? Heh. Sasuke scoffed, smirking. As if I'd let you become stronger than me, you fool. The Sandaime stared intently at the two children for a while. Then, his eyes closed as he gave a bright smile, chuckling softly. Naruto twitched, and a disgusted look appeared on his face. Gigi? Why are you smiling like that? Are you a pedophile? It was the Sandaime's turn to twitch. Naruto. Today's the day, eh? HN. Naruto and Sasuke were heading for the Ninja Academy. 4.5 years had passed since that day when they discovered Naruto's heritage, and everything had been proceeding according to plan. Naruto and Sasuke spent every day studying or training, or both. However, because of how the teams were sorted, Naruto had stuck with the plan and pretended to be a nobody in class, getting barely passing grades. It had been difficult, though, to get worse grades than Nara Shikamaru. That boy was a genius, but too lazy to lift a pen. Therefore, his grades should have been the poorest, but since they were the same as Naruto's, the blonde had to take drastic measures by adding poor attendance to the list. This had earned him the position of dead last. The two were dressed sharply enough, Naruto wearing a pair of black sandals, black ninja pants with a shuriken holster and a kunai holster strapped to his right leg, and a loose, long-sleeved, black ninja shirt that had been rolled up to just below his elbows, revealing the sleeves of the mesh shirt he wore underneath. Under the shirt, which had a fur collar much like that of the venerable Nidaime Hokage, over the mesh, Naruto wore plate armor. He also had 2 kunai pouches behind his back, and a black, 3-inch wide bracelet on each wrist. Sasuke wore black sandals, black ninja pants with 2 shuriken holsters on his right leg, a black muscle shirt over a mesh shirt, under plate armor, which was hidden by a black, long-sleeved shirt complete with the trademark high collar of the Uchiha, and the Uchiha clan crest on the back. He had only one kunai pouch, which was on the left side of his back, as a black shakudo was tucked into his red obi behind his back on his right side. He had identical bracelets on his own wrists. My awesome score in the upcoming exam won't change my overall grade, will it? Naruto asked curiously, and Sasuke shook his head. No, the exam is just to show that you can do what they want you to do, the Uchiha said. His voice was warmer than it had once been, but it was only like that when he was talking to Naruto, or whoever else he felt had earned his respect, such as the Sandaime Hokage, and Naruto's teacher, who went by the codename Yamato. Hey, then it'll be good to show these punks how good I really am, Naruto said, punching his fist into his open palm. Of course, most of the academy already knew how strong he really was. After all, Sasuke's fangirls had spied on a lot of their lighter training sessions, and even then it was intense, and since Naruto could easily keep up with Sasuke, they had figured out that he was just acting in class, and had naturally spread the word. Sasuke blinked once and looked at Naruto. Who is it this time? I'm not molding chakra right now, Naruto said, crossing his arms. So I haven't the slightest. Then mold some? Naruto's left eyebrow slowly rose, and he turned his head to look at Sasuke, who sighed. Please mold some? Naruto nodded and closed his eyes, activating his keen chakra sensing abilities. He located all 5 people who were following them, and identified their chakra signatures. The usual fangirls on R6, and on the rooftop at 4 o'clock is Hinata. Hinata? Haven't had her following us around for about a week, Sasuke commented. It was widely known that Hinata was probably the only girl in the academy who wasn't a fangirl. Instead, she was an admirer. She didn't admire Sasuke, however, but instead it was Naruto who she focused her attention on. She had told Kiba, who had told Shikamaru, who had told Ino, who had told Sasuke that she admired Naruto for his determination and will to never give up, even when looked down upon by the general populace of the village. She greatly admired his character, but was too shy to talk to him. Still suck at the bunshin though, Naruto muttered, bringing the topic back to the exam. Dunno how I'm gonna pull that one off. Way ahead of you, Sasuke said confidently. Don't worry, you'll pass with flying colors. The Hokage said that the bunshin is the most basic of clones, and that's the minimum requirement for graduating. Sasuke didn't need to say anything else, as Naruto made the realization right away. So any clone will do. I'll avoid the Moku bunshin, wood clone, and just go with the Kage bunshin, shadow clone. Don't want to reveal my special skills too quickly. And so, there they stood, in the ninja academy. Or rather, they were outside. Currently, they were doing the physical portion of the exam. Needless to say, Naruto shocked the hell out of Iruka when he aced the kunai and shuriken throwing, beat everyone in the stamina portion, and fought Sasuke to a standstill in a spar. Naruto even did well in genjutsu, even though it wasn't his area of expertise. Despite his terrible skill with them, compared to his nin and taijutsu, he could still cast genjutsu that were above average in power, not something just anyone could do, and he could identify and cancel them no problem. Next came the ninjutsu portion. Naruto was almost disappointed with the fact that only a henge, bunshin, and a kawarimi needed to be performed to pass. Alright, Naruto, just create 2 fully functional bunshin, and you'll pass, Iruka said, looking very pleasantly surprised at Naruto's performance. Naruto nodded and put his hands in a cross seal. Without speaking the words, he created 2 Kage bunshin, which made the Chunin teacher's eyes widen in surprise. These are Kage bunshin. The Jiji says that my chakra stores are too big for me to create a normal bunshin, Naruto said with a shrug. Well, you pass, Naruto. Congratulations, Iruka said, picking up one of the hitite on the table in front of him and handing it to Naruto, who shook his head. It's cool, I've got my own, he said and reached into his kunai pouch, taking out a scroll and opening it. He placed his hand on a seal in the scroll, and in a poof of smoke, a grey hapuri with the Konoha symbol engraved on the forehead appeared, landing in Naruto's hand. It was old and scratched here and there, and Iruka's eyes widened. And Naruto is that? The Nidaime's hapuri, Naruto said with a nod as he put the scroll in his kunai pouch again, before putting on the hapuri. Yeah, the Jiji gave it to me. Well, later, sensei. With that, Naruto left the classroom, finding Sasuke waiting for him outside, already wearing his hitite. They didn't need to speak. Instead, Naruto just grinned and pointed with his thumb up at his hapuri. Big surprise there, Sasuke said, looking bored. So, do we eat and then train, or do we train and then eat? Let's go eat first, yeah? Celebrate our graduation, Naruto said, still grinning as he and Sasuke walked off. Starting today, all of you are real shinobi. Irika said happily to the gathered graduates the next day, smiling proudly. But you are still genin. The hard journey that lies ahead has just started. Now you will soon get missions to help the village. So today, we will create the 3-man teams, and each of you will have a jounin sensei. You will follow your sensei's instructions in order to successfully complete your missions. Now, we tried to balance each team's strength, the Chunin said as he looked down at the clipboard in his hand. Alright, Team 1. Naruto, who was sitting next to Sasuke, nudged his best friend with his elbow. Hey, did you find out which girl got the highest score? I think Hinata and Sakura were at the top, Sasuke said quietly, staring out the window. I couldn't find out which one though. I hope it's Hinata. It'd be nice to have the girl of the team fawning over someone other than me. If it is Hinata, we're going to have to do something about her shyness. Agreed. Okay, next is Team 7. Hyuga Hinata, Uzumaki Naruto, and Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke both got identical smirks on their faces and gave each other a high five. Out of the corner of his eye, Naruto saw that Hinata had gone beet red in her seat, her eyes wide as saucers. Hey, Irika-sensei, Shikamaru spoke up, sounding bored as usual. Aren't the teams supposed to be balanced? Why are you placing the 3 strongest on the same team? Because, Shikamaru, though it's widely known that Naruto is as strong as Sasuke, we selected the teams based on grades, and Naruto came in dead last. I believe the two knew about how the teams would be decided, after all. The smirks on Naruto and Sasuke's faces said it all. Alright, next is Team 8, which will consist of Harino Sakura, Inuzuka Kiba, and Aburame Shino, Irika said, continuing to read from his clipboard. Team 9 is still in rotation from last year, and Team 10 will be Yamanaka Ino, Naro Shikamaru, and Akimichi Chuji. He cleared his throat, then smiled. Okay, this afternoon we'll introduce your Jounin sensei. Until then, take a break. Hinata! Naruto called as everyone rose from their seats. The Hyuga heiress jumped at being addressed by her crush and spun to face him, completely red-faced still. Sasuke and I are gonna grab some lunch, you wanna come? Aye. Hinata started poking her fingers together, ducking her head down, which made Naruto and Sasuke share a look with each other, eyebrows raised. Sure, Naruto-kun. Dango today, then? Naruto asked Sasuke, who nodded as they walked up to Hinata. Dango alright with you, Hinata? Aye, it's fine. Hinata muttered, still keeping her head down. Naruto looked to Sasuke, who shrugged. The newly made Team 7 headed to a nearby dango shop, where Naruto and Sasuke each ordered 10 sticks, and Hinata ordered 5. You didn't pack lunch? Naruto asked Hinata as they waited for their food. Come to think of it, I've never seen you bring lunch. No, I go back home to eat lunch, Hinata said quietly. What about you two? Sasuke prefers dango, but he can't make it, and me. Well, the last time I tried cooking, Sasuke and I had to battle the ensuing creation to the death. Hinata giggled at that, especially at the look on Sasuke's face when he thought back to the monster stew. A stew shouldn't have been able to grow tentacles, damn it. So, Hinata, Naruto said as their order arrived, watching as Hinata jumped at being addressed. Why don't you give us a rundown of your abilities, eh? Sasuke and I know each other's skills well enough, but we have no idea about you. Oh, I'm kind of weak. Hinata mumbled shyly, ducking her head. Yeah, we don't buy that, Sasuke said simply. If you were weak, you wouldn't have scored top of the class. How about we go first? Give small introductions? He said, looking to Naruto for confirmation and getting a nod. Alright, I'm Uchiha Sasuke. I specialize in ninjutsu and genjutsu. My chakra control is excellent, and my strength is above average. I don't have the best stamina, but it's not lousy either. My preferred jutsu are katan jutsu. Uzumaki Naruto, Naruto said, raising his hand unnecessarily in greeting. I specialize in ninjutsu and taijutsu. I'm also a very accomplished sensor. My chakra control is good, but could be better, and my strength is amazing. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I get by, my stamina is monstrous, and my preferred jutsu are Doton and Suiton jutsu, and the secret type. A secret type? Hinata asked, blinking at the grin on Naruto's face. To be revealed at a later date, Naruto said, nodding. Now you? I'm Hyuga Hinata. I guess I specialize in taijutsu. My Byakugan makes me a good sensor, I suppose. My chakra control is excellent, like Sasuke-kun's, but I'm kind of weak physically. My stamina is also not that great. And my preferred jutsu are my clan jutsu. So, only one of us has any focus on genjutsu, Sasuke said, crossing his arms and closing his eyes in thought. I know you have a pretty low opinion of yourself, Hinata, but I need you to think carefully about your skills. Do you have anything else that could contribute? Well, I do make my own medicine. Alright, that's great, Naruto said with a bright grin. So you'll act as our support, and can also patch up Sasuke and me when we rush into battle head first, yeah? Sasuke corrected, which got him a glare from Naruto. Shut up, you know it all. Hinata giggled softly at their antics, and even more so during their meal, when Naruto demonstrated his 4-in-1 technique, where he tilted his head back and put an entire dango stick down his throat like a sword swallower, chomped his teeth down on it, and pulled it out, clean, and swallowing the dumplings whole. Ugh! Naruto muttered afterward, clutching his stomach. Those always feel too big going down. It's like they swell to twice their size as soon as I swallow them. Sasuke chuckled softly, while Hinata giggled. When the food had been devoured, the trio got up and headed back to the academy, where they waited. And waited. And waited. Naruto? Sasuke said after 2 hours of waiting. The blonde was sitting at his desk, his eyes closed. Someone's finally approaching, Naruto said grumpily. Damn bastard, making us wait. Wait to make a first impression. The door opened, revealing a man wearing the traditional Jounin uniform, along with a mask that covered the lower half of his face, and a headband that was pulled down to cover his left eye. His hair, gray, looked as though it was defying gravity. He raised a gloved hand in greeting. Yo, boys and girl. I'll be your Jounin sensei, he spoke lazily, then looked around in thought. This place is a bit stuffy. Let's go up to the roof, yeah? With that, he left the classroom, and Naruto, Sasuke and Hinata, looking at each other strangely, shrugged and followed him up to the roof, where they sat down in front of the man, who was leaning back against the railing. Well, let's begin with introducing ourselves, the man said, his arms crossed. What do you want to know, sensei? Hinata asked softly. How about your likes, dislikes, your dreams for the future, and things like that? The Jounin said with a shrug. How about you go first? Sasuke asked. Yeah, you look very suspicious, Naruto muttered, narrowing his eyes. Oh, me? Well, my name is Hatake Kakashi. I have no desire to tell you my likes and dislikes. Dreams for the future. And I have lots of hobbies. All 3 members of Team 7 sweat dropped at the lame introduction. Kakashi was unperturbed, however, and just smiled and pointed at Naruto. Alright, now it's your turn. Start from the right. Uzumaki Naruto, as everyone knows, Naruto said, saluting Kakashi. I like training, the few friends I have, nature, and meditating. I don't like idiots or warmongers. As for my hobbies, well, my only hobby is training, I guess. And my dream is to become Hokage, and surpass all my predecessors. Good. Next. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I like training, swords, and meditating. My dislikes mostly consist of idiots, and a certain man. My hobby is training, and my dream. I don't really have dreams, but rather goals. The resurrection of the Uchiha clan, to kill that certain man, and to become Hokage. Though that last one is gonna have to remain a dream, Naruto supplied with a grin, while Sasuke gave a scoff of amusement. Kakashi was staring at the two of them with something akin to warmth in his eye. To think that those two would become friends. I think this will be good for them, he thought, then looked at Hinata. Okay, you're last. My name is Hyuga Hinata. I like sensei and cinnamon rolls. And Hinata stopped and blushed hard. She shook her head, deciding to leave that last part out. I dislike those who look down on others. My hobby is pressing flowers. And my dream is to become a Hyuga worthy of being the head of the clan, and to abolish the caged bird seal from the branch family. Kakashi hummed softly as he looked over his 3 genin. Then, he nodded. Okay. That's it for the introductions. Tomorrow, we'll start our duties as shinobi. First of all, we're going to do something with just the 4 of us. What is it, Kakashi-sensei? Hinata asked softly. Survival training, Kakashi said seriously. Survival training? Sasuke repeated curiously. We did enough of that in the academy. This isn't a normal training. This time, I'm your opponent, Kakashi said, making everyone's eyes widen. He chuckled softly. What's so funny? Naruto asked with a slight glare, still a little ticked that they found out nothing about the man. Oh, well, it's just that when I tell you this, you guys are going to freak out. Just spit it out, damn it, don't keep us in suspense. Of the 27 graduates, only 9 will be chosen to become genin. The rest will be sent back to the academy. This training is a very difficult exam with a failure rate of over 66%. Everyone's eyes went even wider than before at that, and Kakashi just laughed and pointed at them. I told you you'd freak out. Then what the hell was graduation for? Naruto growled out. Oh, that? That was just to select those who have the potential to become genin. It takes more than a couple of jutsu to become one, after all, Kakashi said. Anyway, tomorrow you have to show your real skills on the training ground. Bring all the shinobi tools you have. Oh, and skip breakfast, or you might throw up. As his genin once more went wide-eyed, Kakashi took 3 pieces of paper out of his kunai pouch and held them out to them. The details are on this paper. And don't be late tomorrow. Good morning, everyone, Naruto said happily as the 3 genin met in Training Area 7 the next day. None of them looked tired, which was good, and none of them looked hungry either, which was better. As Sasuke had said earlier, it was better to throw up than fight on an empty stomach. I'm guessing our sensei is going to be late again, Sasuke said, his hands in his pockets. Hinata nodded. I detect a pattern emerging. She mumbled softly. Well, better make good use of the time we have, Naruto said as he sat down in the lotus position, his eyes drifting shut. I'll keep a lookout for him, and Sasuke, you come up with some good battle plans. Sasuke nodded and sat down, humming. All right. Hinata, you are proficient in the Jukin, gentle fist, right? I am not as good as my father or my sister, but I guess. Sasuke was quiet for a moment, his eyes still closed. Then, he spoke up. All right, listen up. I'm sure we're all very strong, but none of us can win against a Jounin alone. Therefore, we're going to have to work together if we want to beat him. If it comes down to a fight, which it most likely will, Naruto will be acting as support. And Naruto-kun will? Hinata asked, blinking. But I thought you said I would be support? I did say that, but Naruto has special jutsu in this case perfect for distracting and capturing Kakashi from a distance. While Naruto is distracting him, you and I will come at him in taijutsu. I'll go high, you go low. If you can, target his nuts. Naruto gave an audible snort at that, and opened his eyes to see Hinata turning beet red again. Wow, that's kinda cruel, Sasuke, Naruto said in amusement. Are you sure you want to put Kakashi team through that? Punishment for being late, Sasuke said simply. I do, of course, have other plans as well. I want you to memorize them perfectly. Now, plan B. They waited for another 2 hours, before Kakashi finally arrived, and he had the audacity to wave happily at them as if he was right on time. Good morning, everyone. You're late, team, Naruto exclaimed angrily. Isn't that unbecoming of a Jounin? Ah, so sorry. See, a black cat crossed my path, and stop lying, you're wasting our time, Sasuke said coldly, his arms crossed, which made Kakashi's sweat drop. How serious? He thought with a sigh. He took off his backpack and set it down next to the 3 wooden poles in the clearing, before fishing out an alarm clock and setting it down on the pole. Okay, it's set for noon, he announced, taking 2 bells out of his kunai pouch and holding them out. Here are 2 bells. Your task is to take these from me before the time's up. Those who don't have a bell by noon gets no lunch. I'll not only tie you to one of those stumps, but I'll also eat right in front of you. Kakashi didn't see the hungry, devastated faces he had been expecting to see. Instead, the 2 boys of the group were glaring at him, and the girl was staring shyly at the ground. Kakashi blinked slowly, but then shook his head and continued. You only have to get 1 bell. There are only 2, so one of you will definitely be tied to the stump. And the person who doesn't take a bell fails. So at least one of you will be sent back to the academy, Kakashi said, smirking at the shocked looks on their faces. If you want, you can use your weapons. You won't succeed if you don't come at me with the intent to kill. Any questions? Not getting any questions, Kakashi nodded and took a deep breath, his eye closed. All right then. Begin. With that, all 4 of them dashed off. TCH, Naruto uttered as he hid in a tree, a disgusted look on his face. Pitting his students against not only himself, but each other as well. Yeah, came Sasuke's voice from behind him as his friend landed on the same branch. This guy's something else. And from what the rumor mill says, he's not someone to toy with either. So, what do you think? I think the same thing you do, Naruto said, as though it was obvious. Neither of us wants to be sent back to the academy, but it'd be a shitty thing for us to do to team up and let Hinata fend for herself. Besides, she's probably the only girl I can stand. So, we can either have one of us go back to the academy, or Hinata. Sasuke muttered, a smirk appearing on his face. That Kakashiero. That kind of guy just pisses me off. So, what do we do? Naruto asked, crossing his arms. I say we figure out a way to get all three to pass, Sasuke said, his smirk widening. And how do we do that? We steal everything he has. If Kakashi had seen the duo, he would have become very scared upon seeing the identical smirks on their faces. Meanwhile, Hinata was hiding behind a tree, her eyes closed. She was feeling devastated. Only two may pass, and everyone knew that Naruto and Sasuke were the best of friends, so there was little doubt that they would team up to defeat Kakashi, leaving Hinata to herself. Hinata couldn't help but feel so disappointed. She had finally done it. She had finally managed to end up on the same team as Naruto, and now they were going to be separated. It just wasn't fair. Yo! Hinata would have eeped in fright, had a hand not suddenly covered her mouth as she jumped. She looked over her shoulder to see that it was Naruto standing behind her and covering her mouth. Naruto was touching her. Naruto let out a huh when he saw Hinata's eyes get unfocused as her face once more went beet red. Thankfully, though, she managed to keep from passing out, as Naruto let go of her. Anyway, Hinata, Sasuke's already in position for Plan F, Naruto said, jutting his thumb over his shoulder. You better get ready too. But. Hinata blinked in confusion. There are only two bells. Naruto-kun, you should. Now, we're a team now, Naruto said, grinning slightly. Sasuke and I wouldn't feel right leaving you behind, so we're doing this as a team. Besides, we'll be stealing more than just the bells from that Kakashiero. We'll be stealing enough to pass 18 genin. Naruto winked at Hinata, then jumped off to get in position. In the meantime, Kakashi was standing in a clearing near the river running through Training Area 7, looking around and stretching his senses. His sense of smell could easily detect his students, and he could sense their chakra as well. They've hidden themselves well. The most important thing for a shinobi is to be able to hide themselves, after all. They could probably hide from a chunin at this level. Wait, Kakashi blinked as he focused on Sasuke's chakra signature. Then, his eyes widened when he felt that it was really Naruto's. Had he created a clone and manipulated his chakra to feel like Sasuke's? The soft thump of a sandal landing on the dirt was all the warning Kakashi got, before he had to duck under a swing from Sasuke's Chikuto. The Uchiha kept spinning and aimed a kick at Kakashi's head, forcing the Jounin to leap away. More footsteps were heard behind him, and Kakashi leapt away yet again to avoid a Juken strike from Hinata. All three had teamed up so soon? He honestly hadn't been expecting that. Both genin charged at Kakashi, who dodged and dodged. Sasuke swung high with his Chikuto, and Hinata went after his abdomen with her Juken, forcing him to lean and twist without pause in order to avoid being hit. Considering they focused on only taijutsu and kenjutsu, he felt it would be unfair at this point to use ninjutsu. After all, this was partly to test their abilities. Now, Naruto! Sasuke called suddenly, and Kakashi's eye widened. The only warning he got was a slight rumbling in the ground, before wooden poles shot out of it, wrapping around his arms and legs. What? Kakashi exclaimed, his eye wide. He didn't have time to think about it, however, as Hinata reached him just then, and slammed her chakra-laced palm into his chest. Only for Kakashi to disappear in a poof of smoke, replaced by a log. Kawarimi. Sasuke muttered with a scoff. He can't have gone far. Indeed he hadn't, as just then, Kakashi blurred into view behind Naruto, who was hiding behind a pair of bushes, a kunai at his throat. Naruto's hands were in a snake seal, and Kakashi smiled at the blonde. Oho, Mokuton ninjutsu, huh? Haven't seen that for a while. However, this is the end for you, Naruto. Really? Naruto asked with a smirk. In a flash, his hand was planted on the ground, and Kakashi only had a millisecond to react before a wooden spike burst out of the ground beneath him, forcing him to leap into the clearing again. He wasn't given any breathing room, as Hinata was on him in an instant. She didn't strike as fiercely or quickly as some of the Hyuga Kakashi had sparred with in the past, but she was impressive nonetheless. However, he had no trouble keeping up. As he stepped back to avoid another strike, Kakashi noticed out of the corner of his eye how Sasuke had just finished a string of hand seals. Katan, Gukaki no Jutsu, Fire Element, Grand Fireball Technique. Sasuke brought his hand to his mouth and unleashed a massive fireball, sending it hurling at Kakashi and Hinata, the jounin going wide-eyed. Gakakyu? Impossible. A genin shouldn't have that much chakra. And he's aiming for Hinata as well. Evidently, Sasuke had been confident that Hinata wouldn't be hurt, and so was Hinata, apparently, as she looked quite calm. Suddenly, wood burst from the ground and enveloped Hinata in a protective wooden dome just as the fire reached them. Kakashi jumped into the air to avoid the fireball, which smashed into the wooden dome and exploded. More wooden poles burst from the ground and shot up at Kakashi, wrapping around his wrists and ankles, before forcefully yanking him down to the ground. Kakashi slammed hard into the ground on his back and grunted. Sure, he hadn't even used half his power in this spar, but still. These kids were already Chunin level. He was brought out of his musings as his 3 genin came walking up to him, staring down at the pinned jounin. Then, Naruto knelt next to him and grabbed the bells, tossing them to Sasuke, who gave one to Hinata. That's some self-sacrificing you're showing there, Naruto, Kakashi spoke calmly, despite the situation he was in. Are you sure you want to be sent back to the academy? I won't be sent back, Naruto said with a grin as he grabbed Kakashi's kunai pouch and removed it from his person, opening it and rummaging through it. Either all of us pass, or no one. So, I'm going to see if you have anything worth threatening in order to pass us. Kakashi's eye widened to the size of a saucer when he saw Naruto fish out his precious book, Ika Paradise. Naruto must have caught his reaction, because his grin widened as he wiggled it at Sasuke. Look, Sasuke, our new teacher likes reading dirty books. How about you set it on fire, yeah? That sounds like an amazing idea, Naruto, Sasuke said, a cruel smirk on his face. You can't do that, Kakashi exclaimed. Fine, you all pass. Now let me go and give me my book. Hey, Naruto uttered as he put the book back in the kunai pouch and dropped it onto Kakashi's stomach, before putting his hand in a half-rammed seal. The wood holding Kakashi loosened and sank back into the earth, allowing Kakashi to sit up. Well, you would have passed anyway, Kakashi said as he stood up, refastening his kunai pouch. This test was designed to see if you could figure out the hidden meaning behind it. Hidden meaning? Hinata mumbled, and Sasuke hummed, crossing his arms. You pitted the 3 of us against not only you, but each other as well. There was no way we were going to get a bell on our own, so we had to team up. So, self-sacrifice? That's right, Kakashi said with a nod. The hidden answer to this test is teamwork. I wanted to see if you could work together as a team, and I wanted to see if one of you would be willing to sacrifice themselves for the others. While that didn't work out quite as I had planned, you got the gist of it. Duties are done by the team. Of course, individual strength is also important to a ninja, but what's even more important is teamwork. Kakashi looked over his 3 genin, and a bright smile appeared on his face. Naruto, Sasuke, even if you 2 are best friends, you still didn't leave Hinata behind in order to get the bells for yourselves. That shows that you have character, compassion, honor. You will be risking your lives in these duties. If a hostage is taken, you will have tough choices to make, and you may not always make the right one. Kakashi sighed and gestured for them to follow him as he walked over to where the poles were, behind which was a large stone with hundreds of names carved into it. Look at this, the numerous names carved on this stone. These are ninjas who are recognized as heroes of the village, Kakashi said, staring softly at the stone. But they aren't just normal heroes. Why do I get the feeling you're about to say something depressing? Naruto muttered. These ninjas are all heroes who died on duty, Kakashi explained. This is a memorial. My best friend's name is also carved here. You guys are the first team I've ever passed. Everyone else would just do whatever I told them. They were all just morons, who only thought about themselves, and about doing what I ordered. A ninja must see underneath the underneath. Those who break the rules and codes of the ninja world are called trash. But you know what? Those who don't take care of their comrades are lower than trash. I want you all to remember that. TCH, Sasuke muttered. Here I thought I had you figured out, then you go say something cool like that. Kakashi smiled brightly and flashed them a thumbs up. That ends the training. All of you pass. Okay, starting tomorrow, Team 7 will begin its duties. Alright. Naruto exclaimed with a wide grin, pumping his fist into the air. My climb to the top starts here. Ah, my precious Tora-chan. I missed you so much. The wife of the fire daimyo, Madame Shirjimi, yelled out as she hugged her cat tightly in the mission's office, despite the cat looking like it was choking to death. You had me so worried, my little baby. No wonder it ran away. Naruto muttered, 3 scratches across the bridge of his nose, and many more on his hands. Sasuke had 3 on his cheek, 3 on his neck, and about as many on his hands as Naruto. I would too. HN. Kind of makes you pity it. Hinata mumbled softly, having no scratches on her. Now, Kakashi's Team 7, the Sandaime said as he was looking over the documents in front of him, your next duty is babysitting an elder's grandson, shopping in the neighboring village, and help with the potato digging. You can also. I'm gonna stop you right there, GG, Naruto said suddenly. Everyone save for his team stared at him in utter shock for daring to interrupt the Hokage. You and I both know that this team is stronger than any genin team you have. We shouldn't be doing this crap. I agree, Sasuke said, crossing his arms. I think this is an incredible waste of valuable resources. After all, besides team training, coming up with strategies and combinations, all they had been doing since graduating was deranked missions. You idiots! Iruka barked, sitting next to the Sandaime, who just sighed. You are just rookies. Everyone starts off with the simple duties and work their way up. I don't give a crap. We're not everyone. Naruto barked back. We get these crap missions I wouldn't even force Academy students to do. This is not ninja work. Suddenly, Kakashi's fist bopped Naruto on the head, accompanied by the Jounin saying, Quiet, you. Naruto-kun, it seems I have to explain to you what these duties are all about, the Sandaime said, puffing on his pipe. Listen, every day, we get all kinds of requests from people, ranging from babysitting to assassination. We rank the missions, and blah blah blah, Naruto said, his arms crossed. But you've told us that genin get both D and C ranked missions. I know we're fresh out of the academy, but you know as well as I do that we can handle a C rank. Right, Sasuke, Hinata? HN. I think so. I apologize. Kakashi mumbled, scratching the back of his head in embarrassment. The Sandaime, however, looked thoughtful and hummed while puffing on his pipe. He interlaced his fingers in front of his face and smirked. Very well. If you want it that much, I'll give you a C rank, and we'll see how you do. It's a protection mission of a certain individual, the Sandaime announced, which visibly surprised Kakashi and Hinata, while Naruto and Sasuke smirked. I'll introduce the client now. Hey! Will you come in here? The door to the mission office slid open, revealing an old man who, judging by the scars on his hands, must have been a carpenter or something like that. In his hand was a sake bottle, and he took a swig from it as he looked them over. What's this? They're all a bunch of super brats, the man said, a drunken blush on his face. Especially the girl. She looks like she couldn't hurt a fly. Are you really a ninja? Hinata flinched and ducked her head. Seeing that she wasn't about to give a retort, Naruto and Sasuke came to her defense, glaring heatedly at him. Could kill you 5 times over before you could even blink, you old fart, Sasuke said coldly, and Naruto looked at Kakashi. Sensei, can I show him? Killing the person we're supposed to protect would cause us to fail the mission, Kakashi said simply, but Naruto didn't need to show him. They'd gotten their point across, judging by how the old man barely suppressed a flinch. He coughed into his fist. Anyway, I am the super bridge builder, Tazuna. I expect you to provide me super protection until I get back to my country and complete the bridge. And so, later found Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata walked toward the East Konoha gate, packed and ready. Naruto and Sasuke had everything in a scroll each, and Naruto had sealed Hinata's pack into another one, so she didn't have to carry anything. This is a C rank, so the worst we might face is bandits, Sasuke said as they walked. However, I want none of you to let down your guard. Keep your senses sharp for anything out of the norm. Hinata. Hinata jumped at being addressed directly, and quickly answered with a why yes? During our journey to Wave Country, I want you to activate your Byakugan at regular intervals and scout the surrounding area. Alright. Naruto. HM? Naruto uttered, raising an eyebrow. I don't want you to go lazy and stop molding chakra. I want you sensing the entire time. Your sensing ability is the best I've ever seen, and it doesn't eat more chakra than it takes for you to regenerate, so you can't complain about that. Don't slack off, keep sensing. Yeah? TCH, you've taken some kind of captain position, or something? Getting a bit ahead of yourself, are you, Sasuke-kun? The Hokage is the leader of the village. I need training, Sasuke said simply, which made Naruto twitch. Yeah, right. The one who's gonna be Hokage is me. Heh, in your dreams, maybe? Why you? I think you both have good chances of becoming Hokage. Hinata mumbled softly, which caused the two genin to stop glaring at each other, instead turning their heads to look at her. Hinata looked a bit startled to be getting so much attention, but gulped and continued. Why you both have such strength, despite your young age. And you both have your unique sets of leadership skills. As Sasuke-kun. I think Naruto-kun has just as good a chance to become Hokage as you. Hinata, finished now, ducked her head, as though expecting Sasuke to react unfavorably to what she had just said. Therefore, he no doubt surprised her when he just gave a soft laugh of amusement. Of course, he said, crossing his arms. He wouldn't be worthy of being my rival if he couldn't keep up with me, after all. But thanks for those kind words, Hinata, Naruto said with a grin, slinging an arm around her shoulders. Seriously though, we need to do something about this shyness of yours, don't you think? I am not shy. Hinata mumbled, beet red at having Naruto touching her. You're gonna try to convince me that fish can fly too? Naruto said, still grinning widely. He flashed her a thumbs up. Don't worry though. Stick with us, and in a couple of weeks, you'll either be a happy-go-lucky jokester like me, or a cool, brooding type like Sasuke. Go with the jokester path though. One Sasuke is enough. Oh, are you saying I'm annoying? Sasuke asked with a slight glare. Oh ho, not at all, Sasuke-kun. Funny how you would jump to that conclusion though. Why you? Hinata giggled softly at their antics, which made Naruto grin wider. They rendezvoused with Kakashi and Tazuna at the gate, and then set off toward Wave Country. As Sasuke had suggested, Naruto started molding chakra and spread out his senses the second they left Konoha, and it was a good thing he did, because he immediately picked up on 2 chakra sources in the trees to their left. He glanced at Sasuke, who caught his eye. They had long since reached the point where they could tell what the other was trying to tell them from simply looking into each other's eyes. Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly, and he gave a small, barely noticeable nod, before moving over to Hinata. Hinata, don't use your Byakugan, he whispered so quietly that no even Kakashi would be able to hear them. We have a tail, and we don't want to spook them. Understood, Hinata whispered back. Sasuke was shocked to have seen her turn so serious, not at all her usual, shy self. No, he did see that she was the same, but she forced those traits back through sheer force of will. She looked at Tazuna. You Tazuna-san? What? You are from Wave Country, right? What about it? Do you have a ninja village? It was Kakashi who answered, no, not in Wave Country. Most other countries have them, but Wave Country is a bit too small for it. Don't worry though. These won't be any ninja combat in a C-rank mission. Sasuke pushed chakra into his eyes as they passed a puddle in the road, then turned to look at Naruto, who nodded back at him as they kept walking, Kakashi bringing up the rear. Suddenly, a ninja with a horned Kiri headband came flying over Kakashi, a bladed chain connected to his clawed gauntlet. He landed between Kakashi and the Genin and Tazuna as the chain wrapped around the Jounin, tightening. Behind Kakashi stood another Kiri ninja with an identical gauntlet on his hand, which the chain was connected to. What? Kakashi uttered as the 2 ninja both said, one down, and pulled the chain. Kakashi was torn to pieces by the chain, making Tazuna go wide-eyed, along with Hinata. Sasuke, Sharingan burning in his eyes, 1 tomo in the left and 2 in the right, looked at her. Hinata, protect Tazuna, he ordered, while Naruto was already flashing through hand seals. Doton, Doryuden, Earth Element, Earth Dragon Projectile. Naruto called out as a dragon head made of earth rose from the ground and turned to one of the Kiri ninja, opening its mouth and spitting high-velocity mud projectiles at him. The ninja jumped, while Sasuke also flashed through seals. Katon, Gakakyu no Jutsu, he called out, spewing a massive ball of flame at the other ninja, who dodged, yanking the chain connecting the 2, and in doing so pulling him out of the way of the mud projectiles. The fireball engulfed the chain, instantly melting it and separating the 2 ninja, who split off, circling around Naruto and Sasuke in order to head for Tazuna, which caused Hinata to stand protectively in front of him. Doton, Doria Heki, Earth Element, Earth-style wall. Naruto called out after flashing through another chain of seals, slamming his hands down on the ground. One of the ninja, who was coming at Tazuna from behind, suddenly found himself stopped rather abruptly as he ran straight into the earth wall that shot up in front of him. As soon as his head bounced off the wall, Naruto put his hand in a snake seal. Mokuton, Sashiki no Jutsu, Wood Element, Cutting Technique. Naruto called as a wooden blade sprouted from his hand. He spun and flung the blade at the dazed Kiri ninja, piercing him in the shoulder. Gotcha! Naruto proclaimed triumphantly, putting his hand in a half-ram seal and focusing his chakra. Sadatsu, grow! The Kiri ninja's eyes widened when the wood inside his body suddenly sprouted 5 thick spikes that extended to burst out of his body in a shower of blood, piercing many vital organs in the process. "Well done, Naruto," came Kakashi's voice, making him look toward Tazuna, to see that Sasuke had moved to stand protectively in front of Hinata, and Kakashi was standing in front of him, holding the other Kiri ninja, who was unconscious, in a headlock. "You guys reacted much better than I would have believed." Kakashi made to turn to Tazuna, but he stopped and looked at Naruto, noticing that the blonde's hands were shaking slightly. Well, it's to be expected. It was his first kill, Kakashi thought, his gaze softening. But to do it at that age. I'll have to talk to him about it later. Kakashi turned to Tazuna and gave him a very serious look. "Tazuna-san." Tazuna visibly flinched. "Why, yes? I need to talk to you." Within moments, the Kiri ninja had been tied to a tree, and judging from the fact that he was glaring daggers at Naruto, he was awake. "This guy is a Chunin rank ninja, one of the demon brothers of Kirigakure no Sato. They are ninjas known to keep fighting no matter what." "How did you read our movements?" the demon brother asked Kakashi. "Not even your genin were taken by surprise. On a sunny day like this, when it hasn't rained in days, a water puddle shouldn't exist," Kakashi said simply. "Besides, Naruto is a very accomplished censor. He no doubt detected you from the moment you started following us, and alerted his teammates." "Why did you let the brats fight when you knew that?" Tazuna asked. "If I had wanted to, I could have killed these two instantly, but there was something I needed to find out. Who the target was for these two." "What do you mean?" Tazuna asked. "Meaning, were they after you, or one of us? We haven't heard that there are ninjas after you. Our mission was simply to protect you from thieves or gangs," Kakashi said, narrowing his eye at Tazuna. "This has now become at least a B-rank mission. This was supposed to be simple protection until you completed the bridge." Tazuna was quiet, and a sweat drop was visibly rolling down his temple. "If it was known that ninja were after you, this mission would have been an expensive B-rank. I'm sure you have a reason, but it causes problems when you lie about the mission details. We are now operating outside of our duties." Are we ready for this type of mission?" Hinata asked, gulping. "I suppose that, at this point, it would be customary for us to abandon the mission," Kakashi said slowly, nodding more to himself than to the others. "Sensei." Tazuna spoke up suddenly, catching Kakashi's attention. "I have to talk to you. It's about this mission. You're right, this job is most likely outside of your duties. It turns out that a super dangerous man is after my life." "Super dangerous man?" Kakashi repeated, raising his only visible eyebrow. "Who?" "You've probably at least heard his name before," Tazuna said quietly. "The wealthy shipping magnate. A man named Gatu." "Huh? Gatu, from that Gatu company?" Kakashi asked, his eye widening in surprise. "He's said to be one of the world's few extremely wealthy people." "Yes. Officially, he runs a large shipping company," Tazuna said with a nod. "But secretly he sells drugs and other illegal items using ninja and gang members to take over businesses and countries. He's a super nasty man. It was about a year ago when he set his eyes on the Wave country. Through money and violence, he quickly took control of the country's shipping industry. Gatu now has a monopoly on all business traffic in the country. The only thing he has to fear now is the completion of the bridge. And, because you are building the bridge to the mainland, he won't hold the monopoly anymore," Hinata concluded, to which Tazuna nodded. "So, those ninja were hired by Gatu?" Sasuke asked, and Tazuna nodded. "But what I don't understand is, if you knew ninja could be after you, why did you hide that fact when you hired us?" Kakashi wanted to know. Tazuna sighed. "The Wave country is super poor. Even the daimyo has no money. Of course, we don't have much money either. Not enough for the expensive B-rank mission. Well, if you quit the mission now, I will definitely be killed. But don't worry about it," Tazuna said with a bright smile on his face. "If I die, my cute, 10-year-old grandson will just cry for a few days. Oh yeah, and my daughter will live a sad, sad life, hating Konoha ninja forever. But it won't be your fault. Not at all." Kakashi twitched at that, scratching the plate on his hitai. Then, he sighed and smiled at Tazuna, saying, "Well, I guess we have no choice. We will protect you, at least until you get back to your country." Tazuna smiled and thanked them profusely, but they could all see the victorious glint in his eyes. They set off, Kakashi in the front, Hinata and Tazuna in the middle, and Naruto and Sasuke bringing up the rear. Hey, Sasuke said softly, looking down at Naruto's hands. You're shaking. Still a bit shocked, I guess. Naruto mumbled, taking deep breaths. It's not like I've actually killed a man before. It was you or him, Sasuke said simply. Don't beat yourself up about it. Well, I know that, but my body doesn't seem to want to listen. It's not good to be shaking, especially now that we know that enemies are going to attack. Give me a minute, and I'll be fine, Naruto said, a small grin on his face. The group managed to make their way into Wave Country without encountering any more enemies. However, Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata were always on alert, their senses sharp. As Naruto had said, his shaking had stopped, and he was ready for anything. If we're attacked again, it'll probably be a jounin, since the two Chunin were defeated, Naruto stated as they walked, to which Kakashi nodded. Without a doubt. Naruto perked up, and in a flash he fished out a kunai, hurling it into a bush, making the others jump, save for Kakashi, who must have sensed it as well. Naruto? Sasuke asked, tense. TCH, Kawarimi, huh? Naruto muttered, lowering his hand. His eyes closed, and he stretched out his senses. Everyone, get down! Kakashi ordered suddenly, ducking, just as Naruto detected the presence. Naruto grabbed Hinata and dropped, while Sasuke tackled Tazuna to the ground. A giant sword came flying through the air, passing through the space where the genins' necks would have been, before embedding itself in a tree, at which point a ninja landed on the hilt of the massive Zanbatsu. The man wore striped pants, camo-patterned leg and arm warmers, and bandages wrapped around the lower half of his face. Tied sideways to his head was a Kiri Hittite. Well, well, Kakashi uttered as they all got to their feet. If it isn't the Kirigakure missing Nin, Momochi Zabuza-kun. Naruto? Sasuke uttered, as Naruto narrowed his eyes. Be careful, guys. This guy's got as much chakra as I do. And it's dark. Very dark. And powerful. Naruto muttered. Hinata formed a few hand seals, then called, Byakugan. Veins were visible around her eyes as her dojutsu activated, and her eyes widened when she looked at Zabuza. He's right. This chakra. Sasuke, curious, activated his Sharingan and looked at Zabuza, his eyes widening as well. No. It's only a little, but his chakra stores are larger than yours, Naruto. Ho, Zabuza spoke, turning around so that he was facing them. He lowered himself into a crouch, resting his elbows on his knees as he watched them. Sharingan, Byakugan, and a skilled sensor. Not to mention Sharingan no Kakashi. No wonder why the demon brothers lost. Sorry, but the old man is mine. Sharingan? Naruto and Sasuke uttered in unison, amazed, as Kakashi reached for his headband. Surround and protect Tazuna, Kakashi ordered. Do not enter the fight. That's the teamwork here. Zabuza first. Kakashi slowly lifted his headband to reveal his left eye, which had a scar through it. And in it was a Sharingan. Fight me. I already get to see the famous Sharingan. I'm honored, Zabuza said, and it was evident that he was smirking behind his bandages. When I was in the Kirigakure NBU, I kept a handbook. It included information of you. It said the man who has copied over 1,000 jutsu. Copy Ninja Kakashi. Of Sasuke, Naruto muttered. I thought the Sharingan was an Uchiha bloodline. Why the hell does he have it? No idea, Sasuke said, narrowing his own pair of Sharingan eyes. But I intend to find out. Let's end all the talking, Zabuza said as he reached down, grabbing the hilt of the sword he was standing on. I have to kill that old man. Immediately, the three genin moved to stand protectively around Tazuna, ready for anything. But, Kakashi, it seems I have to beat you first. Zabuza kicked off the tree, yanking his sword out as he flew toward the lake in front of them, landing on it. He released a large amount of chakra, causing the water to start swirling around him. Ninpu, Kirigakure no Jutsu, ninja art, hidden mist technique. Zabuza muttered as a thick mist rolled in, causing him to disappear from view. He'll come after me first, Kakashi announced. Momochi Zabuza. As a ninja of Kiri, he was known as an expert in silent killing. You don't even notice until you're already dead. It's not like I can use the Sharingan perfectly. You guys be careful. Suddenly, the mist got even thicker, and Zabuza's voice was heard coming from all around them. 8 choices. Larynx, spine, lungs, liver, jugular, subclavian artery, kidneys, heart. Which one should I go after? Both Kakashi and Zabuza started flooding the area with killing intent. It was so much that Naruto felt every single muscle in his body tense, and he couldn't help but shiver slightly. He turned his head to look at Hinata, to see that her Byakugan was fading, and her entire body was shaking. She was also visibly sweating in fright. Hinata, Naruto spoke suddenly, catching her attention. He smiled when she looked at him. Stay strong. This is what he wants, so keep your guard up. Sasuke, Kakashi spoke suddenly, and Naruto turned his head to see that Sasuke had been shaking as well. Don't worry. I'll protect you guys with my life, their sensei said as he turned his head to smile at them. I don't let my comrades die. We'll see about that. Came Zabuza's voice from between Tazuna and the genin. It's over. Zabuza wasn't fast enough, however. In a flash, Sasuke's Chikudo had been unsheathed, and he spun faster than Naruto had ever seen him move. The blade flashed, and Zabuza's head was suddenly separated from his body, his eyes wide. The body and the head, however, exploded in a shower of water, and Naruto's eyes widened when he picked up on Zabuza's chakra. Sensei, behind you. He called out, but too late, as Zabuza's massive sword had already cut Kakashi in half. Only for Kakashi's body to disperse into water as well, another Kakashi appearing behind Zabuza with a kunai at his neck. Don't move, Kakashi ordered. It's over. TCH, Naruto thought, gritting his teeth. This damn mist is covered in his chakra. I can hardly even sense Kakashi through it. He thought, then looked at Hinata. Oh, Hinata, can you see anything? And no, Naruto-kun. There's too much chakra in the air. Same here, Sasuke muttered. Then, his eyes widened when Zabuza spoke to Kakashi. Sensei, behind you. Kakashi's eyes widened when yet another Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi, the Zabuza in front of him dissolving into water. He ducked under a sword swing, but Zabuza didn't even pause when his sword dug into the ground. Instead, he spun, switching his grip, and booted Kakashi in the face, sending him flying through the air. Zabuza immediately pulled his sword out of the ground and ran off, jumping toward the spot where Kakashi splashed into the water. As Kakashi surfaced, Zabuza landed behind him and flashed through hand seals. Suiro no Jutsu, water prison technique. He announced as the water shot up to envelop Kakashi in a ball, Zabuza holding his hand in it to keep it going. You tried to escape to the water. Big mistake. Now I have you in an inescapable prison, Zabuza said, chuckling. It's tougher if you can't move, you know? Now, Kakashi, we can finish things later. First, I'll take care of them, he said as he put his hand in a half-rammed seal. Out of the water rose a Mizubunshin, who walked onto the shore, chuckling softly. Wearing those itachi and acting like ninja, the clone said, smirking behind his bandages. A real ninja is someone who has survived numerous brushes with death. Only when you're good enough to be listed in my handbook can you start calling yourself ninja. You are not ninja. Just brats. Naruto slowly turned his head to look at Sasuke, who smirked and nodded. Then he looked to Hinata, who gulped, but steeled herself nonetheless, nodding as well. Run away? TCH, Kakashi-sensei, you underestimate us, Naruto said, a grin spreading on his face. A Mizubunshin only possesses 1/10 of the original's power. Do you think us that weak? Besides, the success of this fight depends on you, Sasuke said. If we run away now, Zabuza will just kill you, then pick us off one by one at his leisure. Besides, those who abandon their comrades are even worse than trash, right? Tazuna-san, Naruto said, ignoring Kakashi's wide-eyed look, instead looking to the old man, who sighed. Well, I planted this seed myself. I'm not going to say that I desire to live so much that I'd stop you. I'm sorry, guys. Fight as much as you want. Zabuza's clone, however, just started laughing, grinning slightly. You guys will never grow up. Going to keep playing ninja, eh? When I was your age. These hands were already dyed red with blood. So? Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow. What, that makes you a ninja? That just makes you a psychopathic killer, you eyebrowless freak, he exclaimed, raising his hand to point at Zabuza. Don't talk as if you know us. Talking trash is for when the battle is over. Sasuke, Combo 27. Heh, right. Sasuke said as they both started flashing through hand seals. Naruto ended in a snake seal, and a wooden pole shot out of the ground in front of Sasuke, heading past the Zabuza clone and then curving around him, intending on wrapping around him. The clone, despite the shock at seeing a Mokuton jutsu used, leapt into the air to avoid it, which was a big mistake, as the wood shot upward and wrapped around him, trapping him, just as Sasuke finished his hand seals. Naruto Sasuke Kambi Jutsu, Naruto Sasuke combo technique, they both announced, Naruto grinning and Sasuke blowing a stream of flame at the wood, which shot up along it to encase the entire wooden pole and the Zabuza clone in flames. Yakiniku, grilled meat. The flames burned so hot that when the clone died, the water didn't drop to the ground, instead turning into steam and rising into the air. Ho, the real Zabuza uttered in amusement. Mokutan ninjutsu, eh? That was unexpected. However, he put his hand in another half-ram seal, and 10 more Mizu Bunshin rose from the water, walking onto the shore. Sasuke, you can do it, right? Naruto asked his friend, who immediately knew what he was referring to and nodded, unsheathing his Chikuto again. Good. I'll clear a path. Go! Sasuke shot off toward the clones, who all raised their swords and made to attack. Wood spikes shooting from the ground forced them to dodge, however, allowing Sasuke to pass through unscathed. He shot toward the real Zabuza, cocking his arm back, then swung. Zabuza, however, ducked under the swing, but Sasuke wasn't done, spinning and throwing a kunai at Zabuza's head, which forced him to dodge out of the way, pulling his hand out of the water prison in the process. The clones, seeing this, made to go after Sasuke, but that provided enough of a distraction for Naruto to focus his chakra into the ground and cause more wooden spikes to shoot out of it, impaling and destroying the clones. You brat! Zabuza yelled at Sasuke, reaching up to grab the sword on his back, only for Kakashi's sandal to plant itself into his face, knocking him back. Your opponent is me, Kakashi said, his Sharingan narrowed dangerously. Zabuza bounced on the water, landing in a crouch and rising to a stand. Heh, I got distracted and released the jutsu. Wrong, Kakashi said. You were forced to release it, he corrected, which made Zabuza twitch. Naruto, Sasuke, good job. Don't worry though. I'll take it from here. Zabuza looked like he was gritting his teeth as Sasuke nodded and sheathed his Chikuto, running past Kakashi and back to Naruto, Hinata, and Tazuna, whereupon he gave Naruto a high five. I'll tell you now, I don't fall for the same jutsu twice, Kakashi said, staring calmly at Zabuza. What will you do now? TCH. Zabuza uttered and leapt back, before starting a long chain of seals, which were perfectly mimicked by Kakashi. Suetun, Suryuden no Jutsu, Water Element, Water Dragon Projectile Technique. The both called out in perfect unison as 2 dragons formed out of the water between them and charged at each other, crashing into each other and exploding. That many seals, and he copied them flawlessly, Naruto muttered, bracing himself as the water washed up onto the shore and crashed into them. He turned to look at Sasuke. Can you do that? Not at this stage of the Sharingan. No, Sasuke said, shaking his head as he saw the 2 jounin clash right underneath where the 2 water dragons had crashed into each other, Kakashi blocking Zabuza's sword with a kunai. Strange. Zabuza thought, narrowing his eyes as he stared into the Sharingan. What's going on? He pushed off and jumped back, Kakashi mimicking his actions perfectly, as he tried circling around him, then stopped and raised his hands to perform the Kirigakyu Jutsu. My movements. Zabuza thought as he lowered one of his hands, Kakashi doing the same. He's completely reading them, Kakashi finished his line of thought, making his eyes widen. What? Did he read my mind? Zabuza thought, feeling sweat breaking out on his forehead, placing his hands in a seal. Damn. That freaky eye is pissing me off. Right? Zabuza twitched. Heh. All you're doing is copying me. You can't beat me, you monkey bastard. Both Kakashi and Zabuza exclaimed at once, and that really made Zabuza's eyes widen. Damn you! I'll make it so you can never open that mouth again. Zabuza growled out, flashing through hand seals. He stopped, however, amazed, as he saw himself form behind Kakashi. That's me? That's not possible. Is this one of his genjutsu? Kakashi, to his surprise, finished the chain of seals Zabuza had been doing, and called out, Suetun, Daibakufu no Jutsu, Water Element, Grand Waterfall Technique. As his Sharingan started spinning, and the water in front of him came to life and rose up, rushing at Zabuza. What? Impossible! Zabuza roared as the water smashed into him, sending him through a large amount of trees with the force of it. I'm the one doing the jutsu. Yet I can't keep up, he thought in a panic, right before getting washed into a tree, after which his arms and legs were pierced by kunai. It's over, came Kakashi's voice from above, making him look up to see Kakashi crouching on a tree branch. How? Can you see the future? Zabuza asked, still in shock. Yeah. Your future is death, Kakashi proclaimed, raising a kunai. Before he could use it, however, 2 Senbon needles came flying out of nowhere and pierced Zabuza's neck. Zabuza's eyes were wide as he collapsed to the ground, and everyone looked up to another tree, to see a kid around the Genin's age, wearing a mask that looked almost like an ANBU mask, which had the Kiri markings on the forehead. Hee. You're right. He's dead, the boy spoke in a very feminine voice, which matched his feminine body. Who's the gender-confused mask boy? Naruto asked loudly, displaying his usual tact as Kakashi jumped down to Zabuza's body, checking his pulse. Thank you very much, the masked ninja said, bowing. I have been searching for the opportunity to kill Zabuza for a long time. That mask, Kakashi said, looking up at him. You're a Kiri Hunter Nin. Hunter Nin? Hinata repeated in confusion, looking to her teammates for explanations. Hunter Nin are a special division of ANBU, Sasuke explained. Their duty is to hunt down and kill missing Nin. TCH, to get a rank like that at that age. There are some great ninja out there, eh? Naruto asked, a grin on his face. It'd be nice to fight him. The Hunter Nin jumped down and slung Zabuza's arm over his shoulder, picking him up. Your battle is now over, and I must dispose of this body, since it seems to be a body with many secrets, he said, putting his hand in a half-ram seal. Farewell. The wind started kicking up around him so fast that it was howling, and then, in the blink of an eye, he and Zabuza's corpse were gone. Kakashi breathed a sigh of relief, pulling down his headband to cover his Sharingan, and Sasuke and Hinata deactivated their own eyes. Now we have to get Tazuna-san home, Kakashi announced to his genin. Let's go. Ha! Super thanks, guys. Tazuna said brightly. Come over to my house and relax for a while. Just as he said that, Kakashi suddenly froze, and tipped forward, unable to move. I was wondering when that would happen, Naruto said, unsurprised as he walked up to Kakashi, crouching down in front of him. Your chakra stores are lower than mine, and you're using a transplanted eye. That should drain you pretty quickly, eh? Sasuke, give me a hand here. Why? Too weak to carry him yourself? Shut your face hole and give me a hand. Hey, Sasuke, Naruto said as he stood over Kakashi, who was laying in a futon in Tazuna's house. Should I be worried that you'll end up like that if you use the Sharingan for an extended period of time? I know what you're trying to do, Sasuke said, his arms crossed as he took off his sandals. And it's not going to work. Oh? Then what am I trying to do? You're trying to rile me up. You have already showed that you know that the only reason the Sharingan drained Sensei like that was because his body and chakra system are not built for the Sharingan, so you already know you don't have to worry about something like that. Idiot. Huh? Naruto said, blinking as he cupped his ear. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over this uncopyable Mokutan ninjutsu I have. Just as Sasuke knew how to annoy Naruto, by calling him stupid, Naruto knew perfectly well how to annoy Sasuke, by mentioning the fact that he'd be unable to copy Naruto's bloodline jutsu. Therefore, it came as no surprise to those who knew them that they suddenly got involved in a glaring match in which one could almost see the sparks flying between them as they tried to mutilate each other with nothing but their eyes. By the way, Kakashi-sensei, who was that masked ninja? Hinata asked, trying to take Naruto and Sasuke's attention away from each other, and onto the matter at hand. That's the mask worn by the Kirigakure Special Hunter Nin Squad, Kakashi said, completely unable to move. They are also known as body erasers. Their duty is to completely dispose of the body without a trace. A ninja's body has within it secrets of the village's ninjutsu. Information on different chakra types, herbs, and other things that will reveal information about the village. For example, if I died, the secrets of the Sharingan could be revealed. If you're not careful, there's the danger that the enemy will steal your jutsu. A ninja's body can reveal important information. So, by killing and disposing of the missing Nin who have abandoned their village, the Hunter Nin protect the information from getting out. They are the specialists who guard their village's secrets. No sound. No smell. That is a ninja's end. Shitty way to end, Naruto commented, giving a low whistle. I need to get some sleep, Kakashi announced suddenly. The longer I rest, the quicker I'll be back to full health. Alright, I'll keep my senses up, Naruto said, molding chakra. Sasuke sighed as he lay back on the floor, hands behind his head, muttering, something tells me this following week will be boring. Naruto looked around, and saw that Hinata had moved away from Kakashi, sitting and facing the wall. Raising an eyebrow, Naruto walked over and plopped down next to her, staring at her curiously. Hey, you alright? Hinata jumped and snapped her head toward Naruto, her eyes wide. She had no doubt been so wrapped up in her own thoughts that she hadn't even noticed him. Why yes, I am. I'm fine. Hinata mumbled, turning her head to look down at the floor. A blind man could see that something is bothering you, Naruto said. Now we're teammates. We're supposed to rely on each other. What's wrong? Hinata was quiet for a moment, probably contemplating whether to tell Naruto or not. Then, she sighed and said, I'm not sure if I belong on this team. And what brought this on? Naruto asked, tilting his head to the side. I'm not very strong, Naruto-kun. I'm weak. And you, Sasuke-kun and Kakashi-sensei. You're all so strong. And I'm not. Naruto hummed as he stared at Hinata, who looked distraught. He waited for a few seconds, then asked, and? This caused Hinata to blink in confusion. What? And so what? Naruto said, shrugging. Do you think Sasuke and I were born this strong? No way. Training is the key. If you feel you're weak, then get stronger, that's all there is to it. But it's not that simple, Naruto-kun. You're making it sound so easy. It's only hard if you make it hard, Naruto said simply as he got to his feet. Tell you what, come with Sasuke and me when we go training tomorrow. We'll get you strong. For some reason, Hinata couldn't help but feel a sense of dread upon hearing that. Something about the glint in Naruto's eye had been incredibly dangerous. Suddenly, Kakashi, who had just fallen asleep, shot up in his futon, covering his face with his hand as he appeared deep in thought. What's wrong, sensei? Naruto asked as he sat down next to Sasuke, who was looking at their sensei curiously as well. Huh? Kakashi uttered as he looked up at his genin. Oh well, body erasing teams usually dispose of the body of the person they killed right there. But that hunter nin took the body away. Naruto muttered, his eyes narrowing as he made the connection. Yeah. If he needed proof of his work, he could have just taken the head, Kakashi said, stroking his chin. And the weapon that he used to kill Zabuza. Sasuke's eyes widened. No way. Yeah, exactly, Kakashi said, nodding. What are you guys talking about? Tazuna asked curiously. Most likely. Zabuza is still alive, Kakashi announced, making Tazuna and Hinata go wide-eyed. Those Saban. Sasuke said, scratching his head in thought. It's possible that he just put Zabuza in a momentary state of death. Indeed. First, he took the body of the much heavier Zabuza with him. Second, he used a weapon that has a low probability of killing, Kakashi said with a sigh of resignation. These 2 points indicate that his motive was not to kill Zabuza, but to save him. We can't ignore that possibility. Aren't you thinking too much? Tazuna asked nervously. Hunter nin are supposed to kill missing nin. If he was even a hunter nin at all, Naruto muttered, crossing his arms. But whether it's true or not, the possibility is there, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Exactly. So, we will prepare before it's too late. Plus, whether Zabuza is dead or alive, there are no assurances that Gato hasn't hired an even stronger ninja. Therefore, Naruto, Sasuke. The 2 friends straightened up upon being addressed by Kakashi and gave him their full attention. You 2 are very strong, and you're getting stronger every day. Hinata has massive amounts of untapped potential. Can I trust you 2 to release it while I'm recovering? I'm way ahead of you, sensei. Naruto said with a grin, flashing him a thumbs up. Hee, this is getting fun. That's not fun, came a new voice as a kid, looking no older than 8, entered the house. Oh, Inari. Tazuna exclaimed happily. Where were you? Welcome back, Grandpa, the boy Inari said as he walked up to Tazuna, giving him a hug. Inari, Tazuna's daughter Tsunami said, say hello to these people. They are ninja who protected Grandpa. Inari turned his head to look at Kakashi and his genin for a good long while. Then, he turned to his mother and pointed at the ninja. Mom. They are going to die. What was that? Naruto barked. There's no way you can win against Gato, Inari said adamantly. Words like that should be saved for after the fighting is done, Sasuke said, glaring lightly at Inari. Otherwise, you'll look like a fool afterward. Listen, Sasuke and I can't lose to a guy like Gato, Naruto said, slinging his arm around Sasuke's shoulder. We're gonna be heroes one day. We're not gonna go down fighting a chump like him. Hey, let go, you fool! What are you, stupid? Inari asked, staring coldly at Naruto. There's no such thing as a hero. Naruto froze for a second, his eyes going cold. Then, he muttered, Sasuke, hold me back. As ordered, Sasuke grabbed Naruto from behind, just as the blonde made to charge at Inari. Why, you little? If you don't want to die, you should leave. Inari muttered, turning around and walking off. Where are you going, Inari? Tazuna asked. To look at the ocean from my room. With that, Inari left, and Naruto glared at the closed door for a good 5 minutes before he turned away. "Alright," Naruto exclaimed the following day as he stood in a clearing in the woods near Tazuna's house with Sasuke and Hinata. "I hope you're rested, because you're going to need the energy, Hinata. First of all, we're going to improve your speed and power." How are we going to do that?" Hinata asked nervously as Naruto walked up to her. "First, lose the jacket," he said, reaching out and unzipping the now red-faced Hinata's jacket and pulling it off her, revealing her mesh shirt and short tank top underneath, along with her already developing chest. "It'll only get in the way. You need mobility. Now, excuse me." Naruto turned away, and Sasuke did the same, both of them with small blushes on their faces. If one could read minds, they would have heard them both think, she should never have been allowed to cover those up, in perfect unison. Then, Naruto cleared his throat and turned back to Hinata, who was still blushing furiously. "Alright, we're going to help you progress using the same method we used to get stronger and faster," he said, skillfully avoiding staring at her chest as he reached into his right kunai pouch, taking out 2 black bracelets, identical to the ones he wore on his own wrists. "Put these on," he said, handing them to Hinata, who did as ordered. "Those are chakra weights. Currently, they weigh a pound each. The more chakra you pour into them, the heavier they become. You want them to be heavy enough to make you sluggish, but not heavy enough to render you unable to move. Once you have added the desired weight, we will be doing some sparring. This will help you develop muscles that won't inhibit you in your fighting style. Your musculature, as it grows stronger, will adapt to your movements. Understood?" "Why yes, Naruto-kun. Be careful when you add chakra to the bracelets. Too much, and you'll be unable to move, and—" Naruto grinned, looking a bit like a sadistic teacher, taking pleasure in his student's plight. "Neither Sasuke nor I feel like removing any weight from them." Hinata eeped at that, but nonetheless channeled chakra into her bracelets, being extremely careful by channeling a little at a time, to make sure they didn't get too heavy. Once she reached a weight she felt satisfied with, she nodded to Naruto, whose eyes narrowed ever so slightly. "Throw a punch," he ordered, and Hinata did so. He shook his head. "Too light. You need to struggle to maintain the same speed and mobility you have without the weights. Increase it." "Why yes, Naruto-kun." Hinata channeled more chakra into the bracelets, and deemed herself ready. Once more she was ordered to throw a punch, and once more Naruto ordered her to increase the weights. This time, Naruto seemed satisfied, and Hinata stood there, feeling like her arms were going to get pulled out of their sockets from the weight. "Alright," Naruto said, clapping his hands together. "It's time for you to spar with Sasuke," he announced, which made Hinata's eyes widen. "Sasuke is a much more versatile taijutsu fighter. I'm stronger than him, but I'm more of a brawler. My style is very unorthodox for ninja, so fighting me will probably just prepare you against fighting only me. Sasuke, however, has a style more closely resembling a traditional ninja style. So, you're fighting him. I won't go easy on you though," Sasuke said, walking up to stand next to Naruto, smirking. "If I did, that would be insulting. You want to get stronger, right?" "Why yes." "Alright, then get ready," Naruto said as he moved to stand between them. "This is a taijutsu only spar. That means no chakra usage whatsoever. Although, you are allowed to use your jujutsu, and the juken is allowed." "Sasuke," he said and held out his hand. Sasuke nodded and removed his Chikudo, tossing it to Naruto, who raised it into the air. "Alright, are you both ready? Then, fight." "Ouch," Sasuke muttered as he held his side, while Naruto was treating a few bruises on Hinata's arms. She had been very good at dodging Sasuke's strikes aimed at her body, but she wasn't capable of dodging them entirely, and ended up getting hit on the arms. She had surprisingly managed to get in a few strikes as well, however, and one of them hurt like hell. She had hit him with a juken strike right between his ribs, so she didn't just hit his chakra point, but also hurt him physically. "I'm weak," she says, Naruto muttered, shaking his head in amusement. "Hinata, do you know how many of the graduated genin would have been able to land a hit on Sasuke, except for me?" "And no," Hinata mumbled, her head bowed. She was too kind, in Naruto's opinion. She had already apologized profusely for hurting Sasuke several times, even though he had just waved her off every time, and still looked apologetic. "No one," Naruto informed her with a grin. "You're strong, Hinata. But you can get stronger. Just keep training with us, and we'll get you up to Jounin level in no time." I hope so." "TCH. That's not a Jounin attitude." "Hell, it's not even a ninja attitude," Sasuke muttered, glancing at Hinata out of the corner of his eye, as it hurt too much to turn his body. Use more force when you speak. Naruto, show her. Right, Naruto said, grinning at Hinata. What you do is just gather energy in your chest, take a deep breath, and then let it out, he instructed, pumping his fist. Yes. I'm certain I will. Say something like that. That. I couldn't. Hinata mumbled, poking her fingertips together. Such a thing. True, that might be a bit too advanced for you at this stage. Alright then, how about a yes? Say it with guts. Yeah? What my moronic friend is trying to say is that you should say it with as much energy as you can muster. A non-stuttering yes will do, however, Sasuke explained. Naruto nodded in confirmation. Then, he paused for a few seconds, followed by him gritting his teeth and snapping his head in Sasuke's direction to give him a murderous glare. Hey Sasuke! What's with the moronic friend? Want me to beat the crap out of ya? Heh, it only took 4 seconds to register this time. You're getting faster, Sasuke said with a smirk. The smirk vanished, however, when Naruto ran up to him and kicked him where Hinata had hit him with the Juken strike. That was the scene Kakashi showed up to. Naruto was gritting his teeth and glaring down at Sasuke, who was rolling on the ground, clutching his side, while Hinata sat to the side, giggling at their antics. Kakashi leaned against his crutches, tilting his head to the side in confusion. Is this what counts as a training session for you guys? He asked, catching the attention of his genin. Oh, sensei! Naruto said, his anger fading completely, a grin plastered on his face. We've been gauging Hinata's strength, and we're taking a break right now. Ah, I see. You really look like you're relaxing. Kakashi muttered, sweat dropping. Anyway, I remembered something I was going to ask you. Have any of you learned a chakra exercise called tree climbing? It's a basic chakra exercise. In the Hyuga clan, chakra control is essential, so we learn it at an early age. Hinata mumbled, to which Kakashi nodded, then looked to the 2 males of the team. Naruto, Sasuke? The Jiji taught us a couple of years ago, Naruto said, nodding, which made Kakashi's eyes widen. You got Hokage-sama to take time out of his busy schedule to teach it to you? He asked in surprise, but Sasuke, who had recovered by now, gave a scoff of amusement. More like blackmailed him, he said, smirking. Naruto got bored and wanted to learn something new. Since the Hokage is the greatest ninja in the village, Naruto figured he must know something we could learn, so he threatened that if he didn't teach us, Naruto would go ballistic in his office and throw all his paperwork out the window. Kakashi's sweat dropped again when he saw Naruto's proudly grinning face. Blackmailing the Hokage by threatening to force him to either go out and collect all his paperwork, or redo it. Threatening my Ika paradise. That Naruto is good at finding people's weaknesses and exploiting them. Shaking his head, Kakashi cleared his throat. Anyway, Tazuna-san is going to start working on the bridge again tomorrow, and I need one of you to protect him while I'm recovering. I can do it, Sasuke volunteered. That way, Naruto can focus on Hinata's training. And the day after that, Naruto can protect him, while I take over the training. Sounds like a plan, Kakashi said with an approving nod. If something happens, I want you to shoot up a flare, so everyone else can come help. I am so tired. Hinata mumbled near the end of the week. She had been through non-stop training even since they started. When Naruto and Sasuke said they were going to work her to the bone, they weren't exactly exaggerating. Currently, everyone was at the dinner table, eating. I'm so sore, I can hardly even keep my food down. Oh, you're gonna puke? Sasuke asked, a hint of interest in his voice. I did that once too. No shame in it. And no. I'm fine. You really need to eat though. You need fat to convert to muscle mass, after all. Where's Naruto? Kakashi asked, blinking. His body was already much better, and he could move around without a problem. In fact, he was good as new now. Usually, he'd be the first to the dinner table. He's still out training. Damn machine. He can keep going for days. Sasuke muttered. In fact, he has been going for days, ever since that Kaiza story. When Sasuke spoke that name, Inari, who was sitting across from Sasuke, tensed up and looked ready to leave the table. Since Sasuke didn't mention it again, however, he stayed, but kept his head down. But even Naruto has a limit, Kakashi said slowly. It would be bad if he used up too much chakra. Wouldn't surprise me if he had. The useless moron is probably dead by now, Sasuke said, shrugging. He didn't mean it, however. He knew Naruto would never die from chakra exhaustion. It was not a spectacular enough way to die for him. I wanted to ask you this earlier, but... Tazuna muttered, giving Kakashi a confused look. Why are you still here, even when I lied to you about this mission? To abandon your duty is not courageous. Below the courageous, there is nothing, Kakashi said simply. Those were the previous Hokage's words. That is the way of the shinobi. Shinobi don't move because of money alone. Just then, the door opened, and Naruto, sweaty, dirty, and panting, came in, a tired grin on his face. You've worn yourself out again, moron, Sasuke said, giving Naruto a glance. You look like you can barely stand, let alone move. I think I'm operating more on willpower than anything else right now, Naruto muttered, slouching up to the table and taking a seat. Without another word, his head dropped, impacting hard with the table, which made everyone jump. I'd rather just go to sleep right now. But first, some grub. Hee, I'm also super worn out from today's bridge work, Tazuna said, smiling brightly. At any rate, the bridge is almost complete. Naruto-kun, father, don't overdo it, okay? Tsunami said in stern concern, but the two just kept smiling. They sat in silence for a while, and Naruto noticed Inari staring at him intently, tears welling up in his eyes. Then, Inari snapped. Why do you guys bother so hard? No matter how hard you train, you're still no match for Gatta's men. No matter what glorious claims you make, or how hard you work, when facing the strong, the weak will only end up getting killed. The grin faded from Naruto's face, and the blonde gave Inari a long, almost bored stare. Whatever. I'm not like you. I'd hate to be like you. You don't know anything about this country, yet you're being so nosy, Inari yelled. What the hell do you know about me? I'm different from you. You're always clowning around and acting so cheerful. You don't know how hard life can be. Now, the bored look faded, and Naruto's eyes, for the first time in years, turned an icy blue that no one had ever seen before. So I should be like you, then? Cry and act like the star of some great tragedy? He asked coldly. Then, it was as though a fire had ignited in his eyes as he gave Inari one of his fiercest glares, one that he didn't even use on Sasuke. Then keep crying forever, you little sissy. The tears started flowing from Inari's eyes again, and he sat there, trembling, as Naruto stood up and made to walk away, only for his knees to give out. Sasuke was out of his seat in an instant, catching Naruto before his knees even hit the floor, which made Naruto laugh. Aha, sorry, Sasuke. Guess I did overdo it. TCH. You idiot, get some rest. You're probably going to need it tomorrow, Sasuke said as he helped Naruto get to the guest room. Naruto, still tired and sore, got out of his futon and got dressed, his eyes half-lidded as he went through his morning stretches. He gave a very loud yawn as he left the guest room and made his way toward the kitchen, only to stop outside the living room and turn to look inside it. Tsunami and Inari were on the floor, Inari helping his mother with her knitting. This is a surprise, Naruto said tiredly. You're not usually up this early. Early, Naruto-kun? Tsunami said, blinking. It's noon. Eh? Naruto blinked as well as he stared at Tsunami, before looking out the window to see that, indeed, the sun was shining brightly. His eyes widened. I overslept, he exclaimed, clutching his head. I've never overslept in my life. Sensei said you should rest. No time for rest. I need to be out there, Naruto exclaimed, rushing off. I'm off. Naruto ran out of the house and into the woods, taking a shortcut to the bridge. As he jumped from branch to branch in the trees, however, he stopped suddenly and looked down toward the road to his right. There was a boar next to the road, and it was cut up bad. He looked around, and saw several cuts in the trees, leading toward Tazuna's house. Tazuna-san said that Gato has 2 bodyguards who specialize in Iajutsu. Naruto thought, narrowing his eyes. TCH, they're not very subtle, are they? Meanwhile, Inari was in his house, trembling. 2 men had just come in and kidnapped his mother, and he had been powerless to do anything. I don't want to die. I'm afraid, he thought, crying to himself. I'm sorry, Mom, you little sissy. Naruto's voice echoed in his head suddenly, making his eyes widen. Cry and act like the star of some great tragedy? He's probably sick and tired of crying, came Kakashi's voice next. Then keep crying forever, you little sissy. He knows what it means to be truly strong, just like your dad. As Inari slowly lowered his hands from his face to look at them, the voice of his dead father, Kaiza, echoed in his head. If it's truly previous, even if you lose your life, you must protect it with these 2 arms. They're all so incredible. So cool. So strong. Inari thought, wiping his eyes. Then, he stood up, a look of determination on his face, no longer crying. Will I? Will I also be able to become strong, Dad? With that, he ran out of the house, where he saw the two swordsmen leading his mother away. Wait! He yelled angrily, which made the three stop and turn to him. Inari! Tsunami yelled in distress. It's that kid, the eye-patch swordsman said. Get away from my MOM! Inari cried and charged at the two swordsmen, who scoffed and thumbed their swords out of their sheaths. Then they dashed forward, slicing Inari into 3 pieces. Their eyes widened, however, when instead of Inari, they had cut a wooden doll who looked exactly like him. Kawarimi no Jutsu? One of the swordsmen asked, his eyes wide as he looked toward Tsunami, to see that Naruto had arrived, holding Inari in his arms. Sorry I'm late, Naruto announced, setting Inari down next to Tsunami, grinning. But you know, heroes usually show up at the last second, so it's alright. Naruto. Inari muttered, staring at Naruto in shock, which got him a grin from the blonde ninja. Great job, Inari. Thanks to you distracting them, I was able to save your mom. Well. If it isn't one of the loser ninja Tazuna hired, the eye-patched swordsman said, scoffing. The two charged at Naruto, which made Inari's eyes widen. Are you going to be alright? The boy asked in concern, while Naruto just looked calm as ever. He slowly dragged his foot against the wooden planks beneath him, a smirk on his face as he tapped his foot against it. Suddenly, 2 blunt wooden poles grew out of the wood at great speed, smashing straight into the swordsmen's chins, snapping their heads back with the force. They stumbled back, straight into 2 more Naruto, who raised their hands. Their raised hands contorted and transformed into wooden fists twice their normal size. The swordsmen only had the time to give quick eeps, before the fists smashed into their faces, knocking them out cold. Once the swordsmen were tied up and left hanging upside down from a tree, Naruto casually brushed non-existent dust off his hands and gave a grin. Piece of cake. How did you know those swordsmen were coming here? Inari asked. Oh, there was a cut-up boar in the forest, and a lot of cuts on the trees leading here. I got a bad feeling, so I turned back. Lucky I did, eh? Naruto said as the grin faded, to be replaced by a soft smile. Sorry, Inari, about yesterday. I called you a sissy, but you're obviously not one, he said and put his hand on Inari's head, the grin returning once more. You're strong. Inari's eyes widened, and tears started welling up in his eyes. Then, with a muttered damn it, he ducked his head and wiped his eyes. I decided I wasn't going to cry anymore. You're going to make fun of me and call me a crybaby. TCH, I'd never stoop to such a low-class insult. Tear-shedding baby wimp, maybe, Naruto said, shrugging. Then he grinned at Inari again. But that doesn't apply here. It's okay to cry when you're happy, Inari. That did it. Inari started crying again as Naruto turned away, sighing. Well, if they attacked here, then the bridge is probably in danger. Sasuke can handle things, but it'd be bad if he hogged the spotlight. It might get to his head. I can count on you here, right? Yup, Inari said immediately, once more wiping his eyes. Alright, Naruto is blasting off. With that, Naruto took off. Before the encounter Naruto had with the swordsman, Sasuke, Hinata, Kakashi, and Tazuna had just made it to the end of the bridge, which was almost at the mainland, to find that the 5 remaining workers were on the ground, bleeding. What's this? Tazuna exclaimed, rushing up to one of them, the only one who seemed to be awake. What happened? A monster. The worker muttered, gritting his teeth in pain, just as a thick mist rolled in. Here they come, Kakashi said as Tazuna backed up, and the ninja took up a defensive formation around him. Kakashi-sensei. This is Zabuza's Kirigakyu no Jutsu. Hinata mumbled, activating her Byakugan. Long time no see, Kakashi, came Zabuza's voice through the mist. I see you're still with those brats. He's shaking again. Poor kid. He was referring to Sasuke, who was shivering as a large group of Zabuza clones appeared around them. Sasuke gave a small grin as his Sharingan activated. I'm just so damn excited to see you again, Sasuke said, which made Kakashi smile. Do it, Sasuke. Sasuke gripped his Chikuto and pulled it out of his sheath, moving so fast that he had only just barely unsheathed the sword when he reached the first Zabuza clone. Before the water from the first clone had even splashed to the ground, Sasuke reappeared in his original spot, all of the clones exploding as he slowly sheathed his Chikuto. I don't know if anyone's ever told you, Zabuza, but you're a real drip, Sasuke joked, but then froze and palmed his face. Damn it, I've been hanging around Naruto too much. He saw through the water clones, came Zabuza's voice as the mist cleared slightly to show Zabuza and that fake Hunternin standing on the bridge. It looks like a rival has appeared. Haku? Indeed it does, the Hunternin, Haku, said with a nod. It seems our suspicion was right on the mark, Kakashi commented, appearing to be the epitome of calmness, as always. That masked one? He's obviously Zabuza's comrade, standing right next to him and all. I'll fight him, Sasuke said, narrowing his eyes. Tricking us with that stupid act. I hate bastards like that the third most. Third? Kakashi asked, blinking. Second is Naruto when he's cranky. First is you when you're late. That caused Kakashi to sweat drop. An impressive young man, Haku spoke, ignoring their conversation. Even though the water clones only have 1/10 of the original strength. Still very impressive. But we have gained the first advantage, Zabuza said. Go! Yes. Haku started spinning incredibly fast and shot forward. Sasuke tensed and did the same, unsheathing his Chikuto again. The two clashed halfway, Sasuke smirking. Oh, nice speed. However, it's nothing my Sharingan cannot see, the Uchiha said. In all honesty, Haku was rather slow, compared to Naruto's Mokuton ninjutsu, which moved at incredible speed. Hinata, it's not the most glamorous assignment in a fight, but stay in front of Tazuna and protect him, Kakashi said. We'll let Sasuke handle the kid. Yes, sensei, Hinata said, nodding with determination. Ho, it seems our training has paid off, Sasuke said, demonstrating how Haku's strength was nowhere near his own by turning his head to look at Hinata, not even appearing bothered by the Senbon-wielding ninja pushing against his Chikuto. There wasn't even a tremble in your voice just now. Good work, Hinata, he praised, before turning back to Haku, who raised his hand in a half-ram seal. I don't want to have to kill you. But you won't stand down, will you? Haku asked, which made Sasuke scoff. Don't be foolish. I see. But you won't be able to keep up with my speed the next time. Plus, I've already gained 2 advantages. 2 advantages? Sasuke repeated. The first is the water on the ground. And the second is that I have occupied one of your arms. You will now only be able to run from my attacks. Sasuke's eyes widened when Haku started forming seals with only one hand, ending in a half-ram seal again. The water around them suddenly rose into the air and formed needles, which all flew straight towards Sasuke. Despite the impending danger, however, Sasuke just smirked at Haku. How foolish. With that, the needles all pierced his body as Haku jumped away. Sasuke! Kakashi yelled, his eye wide upon seeing the water needles piercing his student's body, while Zabuza just chuckled. Everyone's eyes widened in shock, however, when Sasuke exploded in a puff of smoke. Kage Bunshin? Haku whispered in surprise. He tensed and spun around suddenly, just in time to cop a kick to the face, courtesy of Sasuke. Sasuke's ankle impacted with the mask, perfectly hooking his foot around Haku's head, which allowed him to carry the ninja with him during his spin kick, and send him flying back towards Zabuza. I can't have you underestimating my team by calling them brats, Kakashi said to the shocked Kiri ninja after quickly recovering from his own shock. Sasuke is Konoha's Rookie of the Year, Hinata is a Hyuga, the number 1 kunoichi of her graduating class, and the other is Uzumaki Naruto, wielder of the Mokuton ninjutsu bloodline. Zabuza, however, just started chuckling. Haku, do you realize that at this rate we'll be driven back? Yeah. We can't have that, Haku said as the air suddenly grew cold, while the ninja put his hands in a strange seal Sasuke had never seen before. Hijitsu, Maku Hyushu, secret technique, demonic ice mirrors. The water on the ground around Sasuke suddenly rose up to form plates of water, which froze and took on an appearance akin to that of a mirror. The mirrors rose up and formed a dome around Sasuke, who looked around with an annoyed look on his face. Mixed element bloodline? TCH, I hate those. Mostly because he wouldn't be able to copy it, even if his Sharingan were to evolve to its most complete form. Haku moved over to one of the mirrors and stepped into it. How he managed to fit in there, Sasuke had no idea. The wonders of chakra, he supposed. In any case, Haku could be seen standing inside the mirror, but then, just as Sasuke was about to smash it, an image of Haku appeared in every single one of the mirrors surrounding him. Well then, shall we begin? Haku asked. I'll show you my real speed. Sasuke saw it coming in slow motion. Haku shot out of one of the mirrors and headed right for him. However, unfortunately his body was not as quick to react as his eyes, and he had barely managed to raise his arms before the shoulder of his shirt was torn, and a cut appeared in his flesh. Then came another attack, and another, all of them too fast for Sasuke to properly react to. Sasuke! He heard Kakashi's voice from outside the dome as he covered his head with his arms. Sasuke-kun! Hinata yelled, and Sasuke looked up to see Hinata throwing a kunai at one of the mirrors. However, Haku came halfway out of the mirror and caught it with ease. This was good, however, as it forced him to stop the attacks on Sasuke, who took this time to think things through. His speed is greater than mine. This jutsu. It obviously moves partly into space/time territory. Is he hitching a ride on the light reflecting off the mirrors? TCH, too many theories and not enough data. And I don't particularly fancy getting hit again just to find out more. He thought, closing his eyes and thinking hard. Think. I can take off my weights, but even then, I doubt I'd be fast enough. In here, I'm like a sitting duck. I can't try to run, even if I create a bunch of Kaigabunshin. Besides, my chakra stores aren't nearly as large as Naruto's, so I can't waste chakra on clones that will probably be killed, anyway. If only Hinata hadn't been forced to protect Tazuna, she could have attacked from the outside, while I attacked from the inside. Now then, Haku's voice snapped him out of his thoughts, and he opened his eyes to see Haku in the mirrors again. Shall we continue? Sasuke screwed his eyes shut and waited for the pain. However, the only thing he noticed was a tremor in the ground, and then a heavy thud. He opened his eyes again and looked to the right, to see a wooden pole sticking out of the ground, and behind it was Haku, sprawled on the ground. Before Sasuke could recover from his surprise, Haku shot to his feet and dashed back into the mirror. Interesting jutsu you have there, came Naruto's voice from outside the dome, and Sasuke hated to admit it, but he had never before been so relieved to hear it. A Hayatan ninjutsu bloodline technique, utilizing not only nature manipulation, but also moving into space/time ninjutsu territory. Water and wind mix to become ice. It allows you to move from mirror to mirror at the speed of light wherever the light from your mirror can reflect. To cope with the speed, the jutsu also improves your senses. To you, it must look like everything around you is moving in slow motion. Heh, that's what you can expect from Naruto, Sasuke thought with a smirk. Dumb as hell in most areas, but when it comes to analyzing and breaking down chakra and its technique, he is one of the fastest thinkers around. He couldn't have been here for more than a few seconds. However, like most jutsu, yours has flaws, Naruto continued, chuckling. The biggest one is that although you can see out the back, there is no mirror across from you to catch you if you move out of it. The second is that there is only one of you. A sensor, like me, utilizing a ninjutsu that reacts based on my thoughts, can easily predict from where you are going to strike based on your location. I admit, it was brilliant of you, leaving a chakra trace in every single mirror. However, you, the real one, will always carry chakra stores much larger than the other mirrors. You won't be able to attack Sasuke anymore. It's over. It is over? Haku repeated slowly. I'm afraid not. Your friend is still within my dome. I will kill him if you try anything. Sasuke, you can see him, right? In freaking slow motion, but I can't quite keep up. Remove the weights. I'll provide cover. Sasuke smirked as he reached for his wrists, removing the chakra bracelets, and then reaching for his ankles, removing identical bracelets. Haku came shooting out of another mirror, but stopped when another wooden pole shot up in front of him. He changed direction and shot into another mirror. It kept going like this for a while, Sasuke watching closely with his Sharingan as Haku shot out of mirror after mirror, getting blocked by Naruto's wood. He sat there, waiting for the perfect opportunity, and he knew Naruto was trying to create it. There it was! Yet another wooden pole shot up, blocking Haku's path and forcing him to turn right, Sasuke's left. Sasuke, who was sure Haku had lost all focus on him by now, crossed the distance between them in 2 quick steps, his speed greatly increased after removing his weights, and spun, swinging his sword. I got you! He exclaimed triumphantly as he felt his sword meet resistance, but cutting through it with ease. Upon completion of the swing, Haku's head was separated from his body. A millisecond after his death, the ice mirrors shattered, falling to the ground in a heap. In a blur, Naruto appeared next to Sasuke, patting him on the shoulder. You alright? Why wouldn't I be? Sasuke asked, raising an eyebrow. You just killed someone, Naruto said. Isn't your first kill supposed to be traumatic? It kind of was for me. There are things that are much more traumatic up here, Sasuke said as he pointed at his head. Naruto accepted this as the truth. After all, Sasuke had seen much death in his past. Besides, I'm not a complete pussy like you, so I'm not really affected. Usually, Naruto would have slugged Sasuke on the mouth for a comment like that, but now wasn't the time for that. So, he felt the change in subjects might be good. Can't believe you lost in speed, he commented, grinning slightly. He cheated, Sasuke grumbled. He helped himself along with space/time jutsu. Very true, Naruto said with a chuckle as he turned to look into the mist in the direction of their teammates. This is strange. What's the matter? Sasuke asked. Zabuza isn't alone. There are 8 more chakra signatures around him that weren't there before. Did Kakashi summon someone, you think? Yeah. And it's not much, but the mist has cleared a bit, Sasuke said, nodding slowly. He gestured for Naruto to follow him, and they walked through the mist, until they reached the chakra signatures. There, the mist was clear enough for them to see what was going on. Zabuza was standing with Kakashi in front of him. 8 dogs that had seemingly sprouted from the ground were all biting down on Zabuza's limbs, sword, and shoulder, keeping him in place. Both Jounin's heads turned to stare at the 2 genin, and Naruto raised a hand, waving at Kakashi. Yo, sensei! The kid has been taken care of. Good work, Sasuke, Naruto, Kakashi said, smiling at them, before looking at Zabuza again. I'll show you something, Zabuza. This is my own original technique. It's not a copy. Kakashi went through 3 simple seals, and then grabbed his wrist and started channeling chakra into his hand with a call of Raikiri, lightning cutter. The chakra, taking the form of electricity, started sparking around him hand, until the lightning covered his entire hand, which made Naruto and Sasuke go wide-eyed. Hey, are you seeing that? Naruto asked in surprise. Why yeah. With chakra output on that level, and with the lightning element no less. That should be able to cut through anything. You're too dangerous, Kakashi told Zabuza, staring coldly at him. Tazuna-san, who you're trying to kill, is this country's courage. The bridge he seeks to build is this country's hope. Your ambition sacrifices many people. That's not what a shinobi should do. I don't give a damn, Zabuza muttered. I fight for my own ideals, and that shall continue. I'll ask once more. Surrender, Kakashi advised. Your future is death. Zabuza, hardcore to the end, just grinned behind his bandages at Kakashi in defiance. Kakashi sighed, then dashed forward and punched his hand straight through Zabuza's heart. The large dog that had been latched onto Zabuza's shoulder jumped back just in time for Kakashi's hand to protrude from Zabuza's back. And so ended the life of the terrifying demon of the bloody mist, Momochi Zabuza. Naruto supposed that this was a worthy death for him, fighting the copy ninja Kakashi. The lightning surrounding Kakashi's hand died down as Zabuza's eyes closed. The dogs poofed out of existence, and Kakashi lowered the man's body to the ground, pulling his hand out. Naruto-kun! Sasuke-kun! Hinata yelled out in relief, only just now noticing her teammates, having been completely focused on Kakashi's fight with Zabuza. Chump had nothing on us. Naruto exclaimed triumphantly, giving Hinata a thumbs up, but Sasuke wasn't so happy. He grunted and crossed his arms. So you say, but it took 2 of us to take down the one of him. And if he wanted, he could have just killed me upon the first attack. I wasn't fast enough to dodge him. He was holding back. Well, aren't you a mood killer? Naruto grumbled as the mist cleared completely. To show a very large group of thugs at the end of the bridge, with a very short man wearing glasses and a business suit at the front. Well, the short man said, a cruel grin on his face. He talked big, but it seems Zabuza was nothing but a cute little devil after all. You are. Gatu. Kakashi spoke, which immediately caught the interest of his genin. Thank you for killing Zabuza, saving me the trouble of doing so myself, Gata said, still grinning. Hiring normal ninja is too troublesome. Not only are they more expensive, but there's always the chance that they might betray me. So I hire missing nin, and have them battle. Then, when both parties are weakened, I have them both killed with numbers. And now you, the Jounin, are tired and weakened, I can go through with my plan. How's? Gata stopped rather suddenly and 2 kunai impacted with his forehead, piercing his brain. Kakashi looked over his shoulder to see that the throwers had been Naruto and Sasuke, who looked rather bored. I hate people who feel the need to brag about their plans. Sasuke muttered while the thugs, shocked, stared at Gata's dead form, which had slumped to the ground. Hey! One of them yelled out, a grin suddenly appearing on his face. Damn ninja, you just killed our meal ticket. Now we're just gonna have to kill you, then pillage this village and take anything of value. He got yells of agreement from his companions as they all charged at the 4 ninja and the bridge builder. Then, an arrow was heard piercing the air, impacting with the bridge between the thugs and Team 7, making the thugs stop suddenly, their eyes widening at the sight behind Team 7 and Tazuna. Everyone looked back to see Inari standing with pretty much every male villager behind him, all of them carrying weapons and various sharp tools and crossbows. If you come any further onto our island, the citizens of this country will stop you with everything we've got. Naruto managed to keep from insulting Inari by remarking upon the fact that the boy was wearing a wok pan for a helmet, and instead just flashed the kid a thumbs up. Nice timing, Inari. Hee, a hero shows up at the last second, right? Inari said with a grin. Alright, let's help out increasing the numbers, Sasuke said, putting his hands in a cross seal. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. In a poof of smoke, 7 more Sasuke appeared, all of them with identical smirks on their faces. Kakashi did the same, creating 15 clones. Then came Naruto. The entire bridge was filled with about 40 Naruto Kage Bunshin, all of them grinning brightly at the now terrified thugs, who immediately turned around and ran back to the ship that had carried them there, some of them even jumping into the water out of fear. As usual, I'm amazed by the sheer number. Sasuke muttered, sighing. You sure do like to overkill, don't you? Naruto just grinned as they all dispelled their clones, and the villagers started cheering. Hinata let out a ha as she attacked Naruto, who deflected the palm strike and countered with one of his own, which was dodged. It had been 3 weeks since the bridge was completed and Team 7 had returned to Konoha in triumph. Since the mission had been increased in rank, their mission history marked it as a B rank, which would do wonders for them in the long run. After all, if they could complete a B rank with no lasting injuries, a C rank was nothing. Sasuke appeared on Training Area 7 in a blur and waved at his 2 sparring teammates. Hey Naruto, I'm tagging in. The Hokage wants to see you. Huh? Naruto asked, blinking as they both paused in their sparring, and Sasuke moved over, holding up his hand for Naruto to slap. What for? No idea. Kakashi told me to tell you that the Hokage wants to see you. That's all, Sasuke said, wiggling his hand. Naruto shrugged and slapped it with his own, tagging out as Sasuke took his place in front of Hinata, ready to continue the spar. Naruto flashed through hand seals and performed a Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique, disappearing with a blur and reappearing outside the Sandame's office window. He peered inside and saw that the old man was currently puffing contentedly on his pipe, reading that little orange book that Kakashi always read. Raising his hand, he knocked, making the old man jump and quickly hide the book in one of his desk drawers, looking toward Naruto, who waved happily. Ah, Naruto-kun, the Sandame said after moving over to the window and opening it, allowing Naruto to climb inside. Good of you to show up so fast. I heard you wanted to talk to me? Naruto said, raising an eyebrow as he moved to stand in front of the Sandame's desk. Unlike most ninja, he didn't stand at attention, instead slouching lazily with his hands in his pockets. Yes, I do. It is something very serious, an S-rank secret that has been kept since the day you were born. I get the feeling this isn't a good secret. Naruto muttered, sighing. Naruto-kun, you have always wondered why you experience such hatred from the villagers, have you not? The Sandame asked, and Naruto immediately tensed at that, standing straighter and giving the Sandame his full attention. Naruto thought hard about it, and several suspicions, which he and Sasuke had come up with growing up, surfaced in his mind. Since the day I was born, he muttered, narrowing his eyes. This wouldn't have anything to do with the Kyuubi, would it? Indeed it does, the Sandame said. The official story in this village is that the Yondaime, your father, gave his life to kill the Kyuubi. That is not completely true. He gave his life, he died a hero, and he stopped the Kyuubi from destroying the village. However, he didn't kill it. Naruto's eyes widened. The mysterious seal on my stomach. Yes, Naruto-kun. It is the seal that contains the Kyuubi, which Minato sealed into you. Why though? Naruto asked, furrowing his brow. Why would he do that to me? That I can't answer. Well, partly, at least, the Sandame said, puffing on his pipe. I have been studying the sealing technique he used, the Shiki Fujin, dead demon consuming seal, and I have come to realize something. Minato only sealed half the Kyuubi's chakra inside you, not because he wished to, but because it was both physically and conceptually impossible to seal it all. It was just too great. I arrived on the scene in time to see your mother holding down the Kyuubi with her special chakra, already dying. You see, she was once the container of the Kyuubi, and it was forcefully extracted from her. In the middle of the sealing, Kushina was weakened, and her grip on the Kyuubi was loosened. The Kyuubi attempted to kill you as soon as the opportunity presented itself. Keyword being attempted, Naruto said, crossing his arms. You know, seeing as I'm still here. Indeed. Both Minato and Kushina jumped in front of the Kyuubi's claw and allowed it to pierce them instead of you. I know that you, like all orphans, have always wondered if they really loved you. That is the proof of their love. But no one knew about it, right? Naruto asked, furrowing his brow again. I mean, I have never heard anyone talk about how Uzumaki Kushina was the container of the Kyuubi. So why do people know about me? It was impossible to keep the sealing completely secret, Naruto-kun. However, when I was reinstated as the Hokage upon Minato's death, I made a law stating that no one was to speak of you being the new container of the Kyuubi. The punishment for speaking of it was death. However, that did not seem to stop them from preventing their children from associating with you in other ways, I am sad to say. Well, good thing you told me now, when I've been around Sasuke long enough to think about things and actually use logic sometimes, Naruto said, nodding. Had you told me when I was younger, I probably would have freaked. I am actually amazed you are taking this so well, the Sandaime said, smiling proudly at Naruto. I had expected a more surprised reaction. Well, Sasuke and I have theorized for years now, Naruto said with a shrug. The subject of the Kyuubi has come up many times. Besides, this isn't the worst shock a kid could experience. It's not? The Sandaime asked, his eyebrows rising in surprise. Nope. I heard a story from Kakashi about this kid in River Country who grew up calling his single-parent mom, only to later find out that she was an hermaphrodite, and was in actuality his dad. Now that's a shocker if I've ever heard one. The Sandaime gave an exasperated sigh, but couldn't help but smile nonetheless. After all, leave it to Naruto to add even a small amount of humor to any situation. Well, in any case, it's actually a relief for me to hear that they don't hate me for me, but rather the Kyuubi. So, what are you going to do now, Naruto-kun? The Sandaime asked, stopping Naruto, who had opened the window and made to climb out. Naruto looked at the Sandaime with a grin on his face. That's obvious. I'm just gonna have to prove to them that I'm me, Senju Naruto, legacy of the Shodai, Nidaime, and Yondaime Hokage, future Rokudaime Hokage. Rokudaime? The Sandaime asked curiously. Why not Godaime? Well, let's face it, Gigi, you're getting up there in the years. You're probably gonna retire again soon, and I'm not strong enough to be Hokage yet, Naruto said with a shrug. Then, he waved at the old man and jumped out the window. When he returned to the training area, he found that Kakashi was there, watching as Sasuke and Hinata sparred. Naruto walked up to stand beside his sensei and noticed that the two genin had stepped up the game. Hinata's Byakugan was activated, Sasuke's sword was out, and his Sharingan was blazing. The two moved with amazing speed. Hell, even after such a short time, Naruto dare say that Hinata's speed rivaled his own. Not Sasuke's though. Sasuke had always been the fastest of the two of them, and it showed. Alright, I'd say that's enough, Kakashi announced once the two genin froze, Sasuke's Chikuto an inch away from Hinata's face. Both of them were panting softly, sweat on their faces as their respective digits deactivated. Kakashi glanced at Naruto. Oh, welcome back, Naruto. How was your meeting with the Hokage? It was good, Naruto said, nodding slowly. Found out that my mom and dad died saving my life, and that my dad sealed the Kyuubi into my gut. Hinata's eyes widened at hearing that, while Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly. The seal on your stomach, the uchiha stated in realization. It seems one of our theories was right. Yeah. It's a relief, though. The people hate me for the Kyuubi, and not for something like my personality, or my name, or anything like that, Naruto said, a small smile on his face. He glanced at Hinata. You don't seem very surprised. I have heard whispers about you, Hinata said softly. I have heard people whisper Kyuubi when talking about you. I never really knew what they meant by that, but now I do. I'm glad to see you're all so mature about this, Kakashi said, smiling brightly at them all. I had honestly expected a more violent reaction from at least you, Naruto. It was a shocker, but it was no hermaphrodite dad revelation, Naruto said with a shrug. Alright, I'm going to talk to you about some things, Kakashi said, gesturing for Sasuke and Hinata to come closer. It's partially about your training, and partially about something I think you will find even more interesting. Well, are you going to tell us, or keep us in suspense? Sasuke asked as he crossed his arms, which made Kakashi smile. I was thinking of making you beg to hear about it, but I guess you guys wouldn't do that. Alright, first of all, the training. I would have wanted to do some 1-1-1 training with each of you, but things have come up. Hinata, I talked to Hayashi-sama about your progress. He expressed great disbelief, but wants you to come home for a spar with your sister. Hinata's eyes widened at the opportunity to show her father how strong she had gotten. Sasuke, you will be training with me. We'll be doing some 1-on-1, because I'm sure you couldn't help but copy my Raikiri when you saw it. Sasuke huffed and looked away, his way to show that he was a bit embarrassed at getting caught. And Naruto, Jiraiya-sama of the legendary Sannin, has sent word that he will be coming to the village soon to oversee your training. Seems like we'll all be powerhouses once our training is complete, eh? Sasuke asked, smirking, which made Naruto scoff in amusement. I'm already a powerhouse. It is true that at present, Naruto is probably the one who has the most power and stamina, Kakashi said, nodding. However, Sasuke is much more experienced in genjutsu, and possesses greater speed and a sharper mind. Hinata, I'm sorry to say, is not in the lead in any area. However, although it's unofficial, she possesses great knowledge in medicine, and will no doubt become an amazing medicine in time. Not to mention that her brain has the potential to become greater than any of yours, Kakashi said, rubbing his chin and seeing Hinata blush at the praise. No arguments here, Naruto said with a bright grin. She's already smarter than me, and it won't be long until she leaves Sasuke in the dust in that field as well. As long as I'm satisfied with my own level of intelligence, I couldn't care less, Sasuke said simply. Now, what was this thing we would find even more interesting? Oh yes, Kakashi said as he dug into his kunai pouch, taking out 3 pieces of paper and handing them over. I nominated you all for the Chunin exams. It's in a week, so we won't be getting as much training in as you probably would have liked, but I think it's worth it. Though this is just a nomination. Whether to take the exam is up to each of you. Those who wish to take it should sign these papers and turn them in at room 301 at the academy in a week's time at 1600 hours. Are you sure we're ready for this? Hinata asked after taking her application form and staring down at it. She looked up, however, as Kakashi placed a hand on her head. Hinata, I know you don't feel like you have contributed to this team, and so you probably feel like you're weak. However, this couldn't be farther from the truth. I have watched your training, and I'll tell you now. You're ready. Yeah, Hinata, listen to the Cyclopes, but not really a Cyclopes because he actually has an eye under the headband, Naruto said with a grin. Your speed rivals my own as it is, and with your Byakugan and Hyuga Taijutsu, you're a force to be reckoned with. And as we've already stated, you're much more intelligent than the blockhead, Sasuke said, jutting his thumb in Naruto's direction. Only to get 2 fingers jabbed into his kidney, courtesy of said blockhead, making him sink to his knees, clutching at his side in pain. So, later found Naruto and Sasuke walking through Konoha, coming from Sasuke's favorite dango shop. They had used rock paper scissors in order to decide whether to go to Ichiraku Ramen or Toyama Dango. Naruto, like almost always, lost. Just once, I'd like to get ramen. Naruto muttered, chewing on the dango stick in his mouth. Yeah, well, Sasuke started, but stopped when they heard a very familiar voice scream in fear. It was Konohamaru, the Hokage's grandson, who idolized Naruto and Sasuke. Their eyes widened as they took off toward Konohamaru's voice, only to sweat drop when they landed on a tree branch and saw that Konohamaru and his 2 friends, Moegi and Udan, were being chased by none other than Harino Sakura. Then, Konohamaru, not looking where he was going, ran right into a man dressed in all black, wearing kabuki makeup, getting knocked on his ass. That hurt. The kabuki man said, standing next to a blonde girl who had her hair done up in 4 spiky ponytails. The man reached down and grabbed Konohamaru by the scarf and hoisted him into the air. I said, that hurt, you little piece of shit. Hey Naruto, Sasuke muttered as Sakura started apologizing. What do you make of them? Sunigekyo Shinobi, judging by the forehead protectors, probably here for the Chunin exams, Naruto muttered back. From the fan, I'd say the girl uses futon ninjutsu. The guy, whoever. What's that thing on his back? No doubt some kind of tool. Sasuke muttered. Suna is known for their grasp on futon ninjutsu, and for their skills as puppeteers, so. A puppet then? Most likely, Sasuke said with a nod, fishing a kunai out of his pouch. Well, we better stop him from hurting our cute little underling. He gave the kunai to Naruto, who took aim and threw it perfectly so that the ring on the bottom impacted with the puppeteer's thumb, making him drop Konohamaru and turn his head to look up at the 2 genin. Hey now, Naruto said, crossing his arms as he sat down on the branch. Just because the Chunin exam has allowed you to enter our village, that doesn't mean you can just go around beating up our kids. Sasuke-kun! Sakura cried happily, which made Naruto scratch his head. And what am I, chopped liver? TCH, more people who piss me off. The kabuki man said as he grabbed the bundle on his back and set it down. I hate show-offs like you 2 the most. Hey, you're even going to use Karasu? The girl asked, her eyes widening in surprise. Well, I can't say that I would mind a good brawl, Naruto said, then jutted his thumb in the direction of the tree trunk. But I don't reckon he's keen. Kankuro, stop it, came a voice from the other side of the trunk. Standing upside down on a branch was a red-haired teen around Naruto and Sasuke's age, his arms crossed. On his back was a very large gourd, which made both Naruto and Sasuke raise an eyebrow. You're an embarrassment to our village. The kabuki man, Kankuro, flinched. Losing control over yourself in a fight, how pathetic. The redhead continued in a creepy, monotone voice. Why do you think we came to Konoha? Listen, Gaara, they started it, and, shut up. I'll kill you. Kankuro flinched again, and started visibly trembling now. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm also sorry, the girl said, smiling nervously. Really sorry. Sorry to you guys, Gaara the redhead said to Naruto and Sasuke, as the blonde stood up and leaned against Sasuke's shoulder. Did you see his eyes? He whispered as Gaara vanished in a swirl of sand, to reappear between Kankuro and the blonde girl. Yeah, Sasuke muttered. They weren't exactly pleasant. The two jumped down when the Suna team turned away and walked off. Hey, you three, Sasuke said as they landed in front of the Konohamaru Core and Sakura. Your names? Gaara was quiet for a moment, staring at them. Then, he muttered, Sabaku no Gaara. This is my sister, Temari, and my brother, Kankuro. I'm also interested in you too. Your names? Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto. Haven't decided on what clan name to use yet though. The trio left, and Naruto and Sasuke were left staring at the spot where they had been previously. Naruto, Sasuke said, glancing at the blonde. That gourd kid had creepy eyes. What do you make of him? TCH, you think his eyes were creepy? You should have gotten a taste of his chakra. It was vile. I guess we'll have to be careful around him. Hinata slowly exhaled as she stood in the training room in the Hyuga main family manor. She had known that she had progressed with Naruto and Sasuke's training, but she didn't think she was this good. Her reactions had greatly improved. Hanabi's strikes seemed to move in slow motion now. Not to mention that those that actually hit didn't pack the same punch anymore, and Hinata's strikes were a lot stronger. That was why Hanabi was on the mat, panting, and Hinata was standing, for the first time ever. She didn't even glance at her father, not wanting to see the pure surprise that she knew was visible on his face. He had never expected much of her, always calling her weak and a failure. She didn't want to see that such a thing was exactly what he had expected of her. That's enough, Hayashi said, and his voice clearly showed the surprise Hinata didn't want to see. It would seem as though being placed on Kakashi's team paid off. Kakashi-sensei has taught me to work in a team, and showed me many ways to use my skills to their fullest potential, father, Hinata said, nodding slowly, still not looking at Hayashi. However, I have my teammates to thank for my increase in said skills. The Uchiha and Uzumaki boys. Hayashi muttered softly. They have some use after all. To make someone like you capable of beating Hanabi. Hinata fought to maintain her strong expression. Both Naruto and Sasuke's voices echoed in her head, things that they had said during their training sessions over the last few weeks. Oi, Hinata! Don't be so meek all the time. You gotta show guts and energy, or no one will take you seriously. Stand up for yourself. Your weakness is your lack of self-confidence, that's all. Guts. Say it with me, come on, guts. A smile slowly appeared on Hinata's face, and she turned to look at her father, who looked surprised at the confidence shining in her eyes. Just watch, father. I'll just become stronger and stronger. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the next part, don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Please like, subscribe, and comment below to let me know your thoughts. Check out my other videos for more content you might enjoy. Until next time, take care.